No mai hara mai. Good morning to wherever you are around Aotearoa, New Zealand. Welcome to round 4 of Repco D1NZ live from Circuit Chris Amon in Manfeild. It is going to be a spectacular day for one very good reason. The sun is shining, there's a little bit of cloud about, but the weather gods are smiling on us. And they say it's going to be a cracking day, which we are all saying, yeah, baby, because that's what we want, because we had to finish the pros yesterday in the rain. But it was a great day too for the pros. Taylor James got the win, and that pushed him up 5 places in the championship standings. Started 11, now sits in 6. Now Pro Sport, which isn't too far away, and we're going to go through the top 32 all the way through to the final. And that final we'll probably see after 2 o'clock live on Sky Sport, KO in Australia, and also motorsport.tv. And Keisuke Nagashima Keisuke Nagashima, excuse me, is now your #1 position in the Pro Sport in Repco D1NZ. It is going to be a cracking day. Round 4, and they're going a different way. So, speaking of going different ways, Ben Jenkins, sort of semi-retired drifter, joins us now. Hey man, I've just been looking at them practice. We've both been looking. They're going a different lane, a different way, and the initiation spot is a lot shorter.
That's right, and that's something new. We've never done Manfeild track in this way to go, but as we saw before and spoke to Connor Halligan, he's told us that it's going to be won and lost in the run-up heading into that first turn. So.
Yeah, the one thing he said, Ben, was just getting through the gears quickly. He says if you don't get that right, your run could be done before the first corner.
That's dead right. That's critical in the practice to get your gear ratios right. Make sure you're in the right gear to be able to flick into that first outer zone, and then the rest will be set.
Yeah, but what is quite apparent to me, it seems a shorter run. Like you could probably go 1 to 12 and you're done.
It's a very short run-up the judges have put out there, but it's going to allow for both cars to be fully under power as they enter the section.
How hard is that to get mentally right, that you know you've got to be on it from the get-go?
You don't have time to think. You've just got to go with a short run-up like that and get your marks, get that out of zone, and set for the rest of the track. All
right, big move for Taylor James yesterday. Not his car, it was in the Mimico car, all right, one of the family. What impressed you about him yesterday?
Taylor's looking in a league of his own yesterday from my perspective. He's so set, qualifying P1 and ended up taking the win.
Can Daniel Smith go back-to-back?
I don't know. We'll see how he goes today. He's been very good in practice this morning.
Hey. I know you're joining us, but you don't have to sit on the fence. You can make a call, you know? I mean, Keisuke looked really good yesterday. He was on it. I wonder whether this track suits the little Toyota 86.
It definitely does, and Keisuke's got some pace in that Pro Sport car.
Oh, okay. So that was your commitment? That was as much as you're going to commit.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, here we go. It is round 4. Repco D1NZ live from Circuit Chris Amon in Manfeild. And it's time to start the top 32 in Pro Sport.
Well, good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Ben. And good morning, Tony G. Welcome back to the commentary box. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, good, mate. It's good to be back here. It's nice and cold down here at Manfeild this morning. You can see people all rugged up there in the grandstands. And welcome along to the people that are here live at Circuit Chris Amon here and braving the weather. Hopefully it gets a little bit warmer throughout the day, and above all else, don't want to mention that wet stuff, but it stays dry.
Oh, I think there was enough of that mentioned over the last couple of days. Look, it's a great day to be here at Manfeild Circuit Chris Amon in the mighty Manawa 2 as we see the first cars head out onto the track. Certainly enjoying being in the commentary box over where we were yesterday. She was a bit wet, but hey, that's all right.
Yeah, nice and dry in here. See the first couple of cars line up. It's VIP Steel Structures and Reed and Harrison Performance lining up on the grid.
This is a Christchurch versus Tauranga. Deli.
So Aiden, he's always got that bonnet that sort of flitters around, and you're always ever so nervous, but the pin's doing the job, and he's getting a little bit of gap here at the start of his run.
So of course the qualifying for today, or what seeded them into a battle tree, was based off the finishing positions from yesterday. Deli finishing in 16th, Sam Edinbar in the VIP Mammoth Commodore. That's of course the ex-Fangadan, the now Sam Edinbar VIP machine. And we see it's a fast turnaround today. Let's have a look at the replay of the first run. This is the first run of the day, the first time that the D1NZ has seen cars going in a reverse direction. Slight bobble possibly for Deli as he came through. I don't even know what we're going to call it. It's a series of outer clips, outer zones, and it's all about the outside today.
So yeah, just the one correction it looked like from the lead run there was a little bit of lack of proximity from Edinburgh in the chase to start with.
No, it's Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
We got it wrong last time. We're going to get it right from now until eternity.
Perfect. Edinburgh. So yeah, good angle in behind from Edinburgh as he chases through Deli. and a good smoke show as he goes through to finish off the lead part of that run. So Daniel Smith took the win yesterday in the Pro Sport Championship. The winner of this battle will go through to take on Daniel in the top 24. And
well, if you're joining us on Facebook, etc., welcome along. If you're joining us from YouTube, we say welcome to you as well. Let us know where you're from, where you're watching throughout New Zealand, throughout Australia, throughout the rest of the world, as Sam Edinbar kicks himself into life. So that's an outside clips and zones the whole way around. You'll see the car sort of diamond off that turn, fill the outside there. You can see the cones dictating that as they head out through Splash, and you'll see there's a big square right there, comes through to finish, and that's essentially the end of the drift section. From here they'll make their way back around the track, so when they finish the run they turn right, and that's where Aidan Deli's gone. He's like, I think we go back. No, you've finished your lap. We'll work out who won.
And yes, we'll Edinbar there. Good lead run, nice and solid, and pouring some good angle there, filling that outer zone really nicely. Aidan Deli in the chase position, a little bit of a bobble there in the background, nice correction. It's probably a little bit, so he had a little correction in his lead run, and you can see a correction there. He tried to pour on the, look at the proximity he's aiming for there. Aidan Deli doing a great job in behind, but the lead run looks pretty good from where I'm sitting. And you'll see, yeah, there's that little correction from Deli in the chase in the latter part of the run there. So Edinbar potentially pick up the win. And we don't know that very shortly. That bonnet gets me every time, Steve. You know, just the centre of the S14 there.
Have gaff. So, of course, we talk about the seedings for this top 24 for the Pro Sport Championship. And there's a handful, 7 or 8 cars that have made their way through into the next bracket. This is the 24. And the first person at the top of the left-hand side, Daniel Smith, of course, having his maiden victory. We'll go down and find out who takes the win today.
Mr. McIvory starting to wind it up. Look at it.
I'm glad you refer to him as Mr. The respect is oozing.
So what sort of, were the moves on form?
His moves are always on form.
It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
So it will be Sam Edinbar on the left or Aidan Deli on the right. Just waiting for the judges to finish their deliberations.
And it looks like Aidan Deli takes the win. Let's go down to Steve McIver.
We'll just keep it nice and short because we've got the guys ready to go again. Just quickly, how hard is that initiation?
It's definitely difficult. I did mess it up a little bit, but I was able to pull it back around and keep it going. But it's definitely up there, eh? It's pretty difficult.
One more step, keep going.
Thanks heaps.
So Aidan Deli all the way through, and he'll take on yesterday's round winner, Daniel Smith, as the MP5 Cambridge Roddy Knowles in the S13 up against the other S13 of Dean Young. SF tiling on the side, Roddy Knowles leading them out.
So Roddy Knowles, there's another driver had issues on Friday, was unable to qualify, so went through to the bottom end of the tree yesterday, qualifying in dead last. So no, that wasn't a straight line at the very, very end. That was the end of the section. As we'll see, these two drivers head back. They'll turn it around. All right, let's have a look at this this battle run here between Roddy Knowles.
It was a nice wide initiation then, and what he's done is managed to get himself in that position, like Ben was saying a bit earlier, about filling all those outer zones, and look how wide he gets underneath.
That looked nice.
Putting out those clipping points really nicely. Roddy Knowles looks all over this track in reverse format, and I think he'd be pretty happy with the lead run there. We'll take a look at it from another angle as well. There's the inner zone, just misses that.
So he needed to drag a little bit further at that point there, though. He carried on with his drift, set himself up nicely and grabbed that outside at that point. And then you'll see this is a really nice switch. Ran over the ripple strips. No, the judges were like, get away from those things. They cost axles.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we're going backwards to where Manfeild Chris Amon normally goes. So what those ripple strips effectively be doing are their backward steps, so they'll be extremely harsh as Dean Young leads out Rody Knowles for the second half of this battle, throws it into initiation, and much like Rody, had a nice wide line there, and what they did earlier actually was open it up for Dean Young to have real good proximity, which Rody Knowles has not got for that.
One of the things, though, with proximity is shallow lines don't allow the chase driver to grab them. Now, one of the things I noticed, which we'll see on the replay, is possibly Dean was maybe a little bit off his clips, and that means that he's gone very, very fast. So at this point here, we want to see the rear of the car come through, drag it on and grab that outside zone there. Comes through to another outside clip. That was nice there, but you'll see at this point here, he just scrubbed the very internal section of that, and again missing through there. One of the person who did grab those though was Rody Knowles.
So good another angle here from Inspire You Media.
That was really nice. So that's an outside zone. This is an outside clip. We're all on the outer today. Just looking for any mistakes, wheel drops, etc.
So I think, yeah, I mean, Dean had good proximity. Rody had a better line in his chase. Like you say, Steve, it was a bit shallower from Dean. Be interesting to see which way the judges see that one. Rody Knowles on the left. And Dean Young on the right. The SF Tiling S13 against the bright yellow MTF Cambridge Finance.
The suspense.
He's going lawn bowling this time, is he? A bit of lawn bowls?
We got a Munna wave yesterday.
Did you get a Munna wave? Yeah. From Stephen?
He's incredible. He's perfect.
Oh, he knows what the Munna wave is now. Last time he didn't know what it was, did he?
No, he always knew. Munna waves, he designed them. He came up with them. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3 strikes in the favour of Dean Young.
Hell of a first chase, mate. Hell of a first chase.
Stoked. I no words. I'm just happy to be here.
Mate, you're driving really well. I'm going to ask some of the early drivers the same question. What's that short initiation like?
It's actually quite gripped up. It's not too bad at all. I'm in third by that on the handbrake and into it. So.
All right, reset. You've got many more to come.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. Thank you.
Well, back into it, all right, and a new driver for the D1NZ on the left-hand side of the tree. Nathan Williams in the 07 from the mighty Waikato. Well, this is a standard battle that's been done for many a year. It's Canterbury versus Waikato. I just love the orange of that, what is it, a V36?
So now, did I read some comments yesterday? Is that the former National Drifting Championship winning car of Cole Armstrong?
Aha, I was waiting for you to say that. Because Nathan Williams said that would make him angry if you constantly refer to that, so I let you do it. I literally allowed you to just crawl under that bus and see the colour of his car. What's that colour?
Much different.
No, just the...
it's the Nardo, is it?
No, the brighter colour.
Oh, the orange?
Yeah, it matches his complexion, and he's just as angry. DC, Daniel Cordwell in the VIP frames and trusses. S15. It's just amazing to have these incredible drifters come up every round from the South Island. As we see, well, you can avoid the ripple strips if you go past them. And that's going to see an advantage. He knows as well. Look at him, he's tapping his roof. That's advantage me.
So we take a look here again as Daniel Cordwell throws it in. Nice big angle there, fills out that outer zone. A little bit of a correction there to straighten up to try and pick up the other next point there. To this point here, he starts picking up the speed and fills that zone nicely, but just washes wide. And just that 2 wheels off, maybe the third on the left front as well.
But the other thing that's happened in doing so is that it's actually put the other driver off their drift. So if the judges see that, I mean, whatever happens, we'll work it out on the second run. But that's a huge backy. Now let's have a look and see if there's anything to zero off the second driver as well. There is a straight line. That is potentially... Okay, let's go back to the front, because if that's a straight line from the And then we've got definitely 2 wheels off. That's possibly 3. I don't know if there's a straight line in there before the end. This might be almost like a, what would have been a 10-1 is almost a 1-0 advantage to DC if coming out of the hairpin is a straight line by Williams.
So Nathan Williams was in the chase position to start with. He'll switch over and grab the lead. And Daniel Cordwell.
You've got to be very careful when you come through with a massive great backy going into that turn, which is what Nathan Williams has done, because if you back the car and go for the massive reverse entry, you can straighten your car up very easily. So great job under drift at the moment for our lead car. That's a very aggressive switch. Needs to bring that nose back down. This is the point here. That's an out of zone. Contact between the 2 drivers. They hold on to it. Yes, they do. Comes through and finishes up. So I don't know how to call that, but that's based off Nathan Williams' run coming out of the hairpin on his first lap.
So we'll take a look at this second half of the run to start with, and a nice aggressive big angle trying to get down to that inner clip. Washes nice and wide there. Little correction at the front there from Williams. And what it's done, because Williams actually stayed shallow there, Cordwell was expecting him to wash a little bit wide, a little bit of contact there like you saw. And both continued the drift. It'll be a nice hard one to call here for the judges, I think. So it's this interesting part here through the second corner there. It's almost like Williams was shallowish. He shallowed up, and Cordwell was expecting him to wash a bit wider before he made the switch to come back to that third out of zone. And they come and grab that last clipping point to finish the run off. So a nice tough one early on for the judges. Up in the tower. Bubble house, Nathan Williams. He's got that car looking good. 07 on the side. And Cordwell, I tell you what, the VIP structures rig out the back's looking amazing too.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, he's just hit that for a 6. Well, he's been throwing underarm bowls, so he's just showing us how you can make an underarmer turn into the 6 points we needed to win. All right, which way are they going to go? And based off the win of this one here, it'll determine... Okay, here we go. It's Nathan Williams versus DC Daniel Cordwell. And that's why Daniel Cordwell takes the win. We're going VIP.
Well done, mate. Little nervous about that one?
Yeah, mate, got pretty lucky, I think, that one. Good run, though.
Yeah, good run. Seems a shorter track, seems a quicker track. How quickly did you have to switch on?
You certainly got to switch on pretty quick.
Gee, that's a nice looking car inside. Did you vacuum that this morning?
Sure did, mate.
Get out of here.
All right, Tony G. So one of the things that we looked at was, and it was clear to see from the overhead drone shot, there was a potential straight line. Now, if Nathan Williams had have won, that's because the straight line didn't happen, and of course because DC did win, that was because the judges did look at the first run from the chase position. I mean, which is what I would deem to be the reason they've gone for the result they have.
Yeah, I mean, credit was due. Massive pickup there, Steve. I just, you know, I saw the drift. It sort of came out of drift, like you said. It was a straight line rolling burnout as such. There's still plenty of smoke coming off. Anyway, moving to the next battle, Jason Wu against Matt Kito. This is the last battle on the left-hand side of the tree, top 32. Jason Wu leads out in that BMW, nice looking silver, and he's doing ever so better every round we do. Matt Kito in the chase. Nice and aggressive in the switchback there as well. And comes through Jason Wu. Nice clean lead around Matt Kito. Not too far behind there in the chase as well.
Yeah, that is a stunning looking car. It's a D-Spec Racing Drift Academy E92 Eurofighter. Outlets under the bonnet. Jason Wu really piloting that car well. It's his first time he's hit the track this weekend. Jumped in behind the wheel probably the first time on a racetrack, essentially. I know he does a lot of drifting up at Meremere, up just south of Auckland. So let's have a look. Definitely grabbed that outside zone to finish. Just comes through, bit of a drag to start. Gets up on the loud pedal, and you see that car really starting to build up. Hits the outside zone. Looks like he's grabbed that outside clip, and then again sets the car up to transition. Fills that zone beautifully as well. And then it's down on the loud pedal. Probably maybe half a metre off at that point there, but it's good, solid run.
Yeah, nice and smooth up front from Jason Wu. And Kito looked like he was just trying to be real aggressive on the chase. So, Launchmaster Willie down there as staunch as ever. It's out of the way, and he'll send them off for the second half of the run. It'll be Matt Kito leading out Jason Wu this time around as he throws the S13 into life through turn 1. Jason Wu's fallen back a little bit there. Oh, Kito's run wide. He's put his wheel off. Jason Wu's followed him out there as well.
All right, well, that's going to come back, and we'll look during the replay at what happened there. It looks like he's going to take all the wheels off, and he was dragged out. Let's hope that there's no contact between the two drivers, and there's not. So the only thing that has been damaged is possibly the hopes and dreams.
Yeah, I mean, Kito just seemed to wash wide there, and Jason Wu just trying to follow the lead driver as he meant to do.
So, of course, the chase driver uses the lead driver as a mobile clipping point. The lead drivers to basically emulate the judge's line as required. You can see a big correction that's actually dragged the chase driver out into the marbles. At this point there, they regather. But what happens now is that the lead driver goes all 4 wheels off, zeroing his own run and taking the chase car with him. Therefore, that would potentially be deemed in the old talk a 10-0 advantage to the chase car. Let's have a look from above.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I guess the most important part of that whole description, Steve, is that the lead driver is the chase driver's mobile clipping point. So how I see it is that Jason Wu is looking to follow Kito here. All of a sudden he's gone nice and wide. Jason Wu at this point realises it, just tries to over-rotate and get out of the way. Kito essentially, as far as I see, would have led him off the track. So incomplete for both those drivers.
Well, they'll make their way back in this one here. This car is heading back into the pits. They should be backing up for the second run, so they run. No, that was the second run, wasn't it? Yeah, my.
So we'll come down and see if we get a decision for this one. As Kito moves to the right, Jason Wu on the left, and
well, it's cut and dry.
You said to us yesterday you were learning this car. Well, you did pretty good in 24 hours thinking about it. Well done.
Yeah, the car, we just do some gear ratio change, and the car feels much better now. Lucky we avoid the crash, so yeah.
What happened in that chase?
I think he went too fast. Yeah. but we have to fully commit it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, it felt like you were just, I'll follow him anyway. I feel good about my lead.
But that's very good. Yeah, good job.
Eurofighter looks good, man. Driver's doing all right too, huh?
Yeah, do my best for the next battle. Yeah.
Oh, mate, you're doing fine. Go get it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, guys. Have a good.
There's a very happy Jason Wu, and I mean, we said it every round. Every time we see Jason Wu, he just gets better and better. He's got into that car. Look to see him advance even more and more. Is there any hints? Have you spoken to the team? Do we look at seeing them coming through to the pro? Maybe?
I think it's a stepping stone thing for Jason Wu. I know he's probably has more to prove himself in the pro sport ranks. I'm sure Sky would love to see him eventually. But here's our next battle at hand. It's two cars going off.
So move over to the right-hand side of the tree, top 32. Ryan Parry leading out Daniel Crinkle here in the JD Roofing. Sora, and we have to take a look. It looks like Ryan Parry washed wide, and same situation. As Ryan Parry goes through to complete his run.
Lots of support for Jason Wu out in the chat there. I'm just monitoring what's going on in the land of Facebook. And who let Warren join the chat? Hello to Warren Sear. Jake Varsnage watching. Okay, so there's no delamination of tyres or anything?
Yeah, we'll get another angle of that, I'm sure, as well to see it. It looks like Parry's just very, very wide. Here we go. So initiates, and he's just completely missed.
And a bit of contact
out there, yeah. So, advantage Crinkle, the way we see that, the way I see it.
Yeah, I concur with that. That sounds good to me.
Yes. So Ryan Parry, calendar girls on the side of the car now.
We mention every other sponsors. Why not them? Always enjoy the D1NZ Facebook page chat. It's always nice to see whoever this person is that is our admin with D1NZ. They're always making their happiness with the chat. Comment about something to do with Dean Young and Pyro. The response was it would have to be an AU Falcon if it's in Pyro. Well, Ryan Parry is making his way back into the pits.
Yeah, looks like a bit of wheel alignment issue at the rear of that car where the contact happened. And plenty of toe in on the rear, right-hand side of his S14. And so, yes, it's certainly crabbing its way down pit lane there. And I have to agree with you, Dan Nash in the chat, up the fans up on the grass bank.
Well, that car's going to park up. I'll tell you one place I'm looking forward to parking up. That is in the commentary box at our next round, the grand finale. We're heading to Bay Park.
The Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship is heading to Tauranga for the grand finale of the 2024 season. 50 of New Zealand's best sideways masters take on New Zealand's House of Drift, the concrete jungle of Bay Park Stadium, in a two-night electrifying motorsport showcase, which crowns a champion. An atmosphere like no other with high horsepower drifting battles, show cars, monster truck demonstration and more. Thousands of tyres, hundreds of battles, but there can be only one Drift King. Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship Grand Finale, Bay Park Stadium, Friday and Saturday, May 10th and 11th. Get your tickets now at d1nz.com.
Well, certainly a place I cannot wait to be. My home of Bay Park. Great crowd starting to build up. Oh, that's a terrible shot. Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Good. Hello to those up on the bank as well, braving the warm weather. Hello to you all at home, around the world, around the country as well. If you are here on the Facebook live stream, make your comment. We'll give you some shout outs throughout the morning.
YouTube?
Absolutely. Oh, the YouTube, yes.
Yep. And we can't forget about those that are watching out there. So there's definitely a few of them that are enjoying the, well, not the cold. It's beautiful out there.
So well, next pedal scrubbing in.
Yeah, they're in the Napa burnout box, getting ready to slip the grip. Hello to Dan Nash. There we go. Oh, there we go. The clock is ticking, and it has just started. So the most important thing they do is get the axle stands under. And we talk about, there goes Billy, he's making sure they're doing everything right.
So yeah, some sort of rear arm, isn't it? It's bent up in that car. It's going to wind it on out, see if we can get some toe in out of the car, get some toe out back into it.
As usual, I think it was Matty J that was down there giving a hand. But this is our next battle of the day. It's on the right-hand side. This is Braden Mayer and Curtis Lilly. So Curtis Lilly, if I'm right, didn't... oh, don't do that. That's a straight line and a half. Anyway. Braden Mayer. Now, of course, we are, if you're just tuning in for the first time this weekend, we've literally gone back-to-back rounds. So we were qualifying on Friday, practice and qualifying on Friday in the standard direction. Then we turned them around. Then we went into the top 24 battles yesterday for round number 3. Today's round 4. And one thing that what happens at events like this is you miss things, like the whole back of the car.
So, yeah, big problems over the course of the weekend. And Curtis Lilly just washing the real wide there. As we take a look at the bottom corner of the screen, 3 minutes 30 to go still. Matty J from Aotearoa helping his fellow competitor from there, Ryan Parry, get the toe out perfectly. As we take another look, just washing completely wide there.
So they're taking a few measurements at the moment to work that out. You'll see a couple of tape measures either side. They've got those discs. Now, where do they come from? Are they slip wheels?
There's all sorts out there now, actually. Yeah, I mean, they're relatively simple to make too. And just toe plates, if you will. And you can just adjust the toe in and out. And when we saw Ryan Parry on the way to the pits, had way too much toe in on the rear. So they wind some back out of there to compensate for a bent arm. Meanwhile, Curtis Lilly will lead out Braden Mayer this time in the second half of their battle. And Curtis Lilly much better through the first turn. He's going to have to force the issue.
He's done a great job to fill that outer zone as they make their way through Splash. Hits the outer zone as well to finish. And that will be the end of that battle. Only a handful more runs to go in the right-hand side of the tree. This is, well, top 32 action for the 4th round of the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship. As we watch the replay of the battle we've just seen, this is Curtis Lilly, who's in the lead position. Still 2 minutes to go, as they looks like the car is basically done. It might just be a case of finishing those final adjustments. No need for axle stands when it's on its wheels. They've been taken out, and we'll get that car back out. Each smacks the back of the wing. It's always a good indication. We are good to go.
So we take another look at the second half of the Braden Mere Lilly battle as well. And will it be enough for Braden Mere to hang on to that pretty second-hand looking drift car at the moment?
Welcome, who have we got? Douglas, watching from, where did I say that? From Coffs Coast in Australia. Welcome along.
So looking at the right-hand side of the tree for the top 32, trying to find our top 24 for the D1NZ Pro Sport National Drifting Championship. And the winner of this battle will find himself up against the winner of the next one, Justin Patterson and Matthew Brown.
Well, here it goes. It goes down to, will it be Braden Mere? Will it be Curtis Lilly? 3 strikes in the favour of the black car, Braden Mere.
So the car that you wanted a month's back doing the job, looks like a Toyota 86, I'm sorry, mate, but how are you finding that short run now?
It's good, yeah. No, I'm happy, yeah.
Chase was a little off, caught out at the start?
Yeah, I actually missed third gear. Yeah, missed third gear, and yeah, nearly paid, but nah, happy to get the win.
Good man, keep going.
Yeah, I'll try to, yep.
Of course you will. To think that's the young man that said yesterday, car's munted, so I was just munting, and he just kept on going. Curtis, okay, face says it all. Engine issues?
No, nothing. So just want to say a massive thanks and shout out to my crew and my sponsors, Hayden from Drift Direct and Boomer from MBT. The boys have been running on 39 hours with no sleep to get us a motor swapped over and be back down here competing. So, you know, I'm just super grateful for the crew that I've got around me and the sponsors that are involved to help us. And a little disappointed I lost a bit of traction and I slid in that chase run, but hey, he drove good, and I felt like I laid it down on the lead, on my lead. So just super grateful to be here and for the guys to have done what they've done. And we're still working on the car in between practice, you know, so just massive thank you to Hayden and Boomer from MBT. You know, it's a massive ask to do what we did, and I'm super grateful.
Well done, mate. The passion for the sport and your team, it's all there.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, there it is, the big, I mean, yeah, so it doesn't get recognised enough, the amount of work that goes into these cars. Behind the scenes, as we move to the second half of the Ryan Parry-Daniel Crinkle battle, I would say potentially a 10-0 advantage to Crinkle. He's in the lead now, and Ryan Parry trying to put the pressure on from the very get-go there with massive proximity to start with. He's right there on the initiation. Crinkle now just laying down a good lead run with the angle he's pouring on. And he's actually, he's straight lined himself here. So, has Ryan Parry managed well? I guess he's the chaser, isn't he? So
that's right.
Out of that. So
we'll have a look and see what happened there, because we've seen it a little bit over the last couple of days with cars shutting down, and of course moisture has not been kind to the D1NZ Pro and Pro Sport fields. So everything kind of looks all right. Gets through, he starts hitting his outside clip, outside zone, grabs that clip there before he brings the car down. Now, as we start entering into splash, want to see what happens there, because he gets through and then it was a handbrake drag.
Yeah, it almost looks like he switched too early before the next outer clip, and then just tried to compensate for that. So yeah, fills that box nicely. That was the start. Oh, actually, Ryan Parry, the big straight line in behind there. So
yeah, but the thing is that if you've gone through and you've essentially zeroed out, it's not the chase drivers. You're saying there?
No,
just
so prior to, yeah.
0-0?
We get one more look.
So, again, we'll be able to work out what the judges think based off their scores. So at the moment, we'd say that the first one was a 10-0, and this one here is potentially a 0-0.
Yeah.
Which would, in theory, put Daniel Crinkle through, but Welcome everyone to
there it is.
Our YouTube stream as well. Daniel Crinkle takes the win.
Is that a relieved and happy face?
Absolutely, man. Redemption after yesterday. I honestly was disappointed in my driving yesterday after the amount of laps I've done at this track. So it's a really good feeling. The team's been awesome this weekend, so I can't say enough about them. It's just been wicked.
What's it like running in the opposite direction?
It's actually really, really cool. I think it makes for really good battles. Good opportunity for guys to get up on the door and that, so that's what we want to see for the crowd.
Nice work, mate. We'll see you in the next round.
Thanks very much.
Let's have a look at some of the comments. Sean Taylor on our YouTube says, no, that wasn't a shutdown, it was a poor lead. And he wants to OMT them both. No, never.
There's no shortage of OMTs for the entire weekend.
Hello, Pat Grace from Ngarawahia.
Daily James tuning in from Australia on Facebook.
GK Drift on YouTube. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I love in YouTube, of course, you have your own names. It doesn't necessarily have to be like Steve Daniel and Tony G. You can have Twisted Dead Body Man. Sup, everyone. All right, well, here's our next battle.
So we have Justin Patterson up against Matthew Brown. Justin Patterson in the black MTF Finance Cambridge S13, and Matthew Brown chasing him behind. And big aggressive angle. Good lead run here from Patterson. Oh, in the chase position, Matthew Brown's got him all out of shape, and in turn he's forced the mistake on himself and over-rotated through the centre part. Justin Patterson goes through to complete the run. So look like, take another look here. Good initiation from Patterson up front, and Matthew Brown was looking really good there in a good position. And I think he switched early here. So he switched early and got big angle. It scrubbed off speed, and it's put him in a poor position to pick up that out of zone on the way into the inner clip of the splash. And Patterson completes the run. We'll see a 10-0 advantage go Justin Patterson's way, I'm sure, for this one here.
Of course, in commentary, when you talk about 10-0 advantage, it's basically the old speech of drifting as we... Okay, there's a wheel off. Two wheels off and then over rotation fully, so, yep.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I mean, they need to make clear that the old terminology of the way that it was judged, essentially, wasn't it?
That's correct. So it's not necessarily like that anymore, but it's just easy to keep people of that understanding. I tell you what, I've just been owned over the weekend. It's been great. I just love jumping onto socials and seeing myself getting ripped apart. Don't get me wrong, I generally deserve it.
So a beautiful day in the lower North Island of the North Island of New Zealand. So we look to go to the second half of the battle between Matthew Brown and Justin Patterson. Just a reminder, Matthew Brown finished down in 23rd yesterday, Justin Patterson in 10th. So Matthew Brown will lead up the second half of the battle. Has a bit of work to do here if he wants to beat Justin Patterson. Justin, keeping the proximity, can be fairly reserved. Oh, there's a wheel off there, little dirt turbo from Matthew Brown. Oh, Justin Patterson now's got it all wrong. He's kept two on the grass. Is he going to keep drift? I don't think so. So Justin Patterson putting a bit of pressure on himself, maybe. He's in the box seat and had the chase position, so he could have been relatively conservative. Although I wonder if he wasn't, well, he'd have a spotter to tell him what position he was in going into it.
So two wheels off, and then
Justin's getting all out of shape in the centre part of the section.
Well, I guess we'll just see which way that goes. There's a few Zach Antics fans on YouTube.
A couple of calls early on for one more time in this battle from the social media fans. So still in the top 32 of the Pro Sport Championship ladder at the moment, the tree on the right hand side. Just a few more battles to go before we move to the top 24. Justin Patterson, Matthew Brown make their way down to Stephen McIver in pit lane. We'll see if we can get So I'm not too sure what that hand signal means from Justin Patterson in the car. It's Roddy Knowles
Call
running over.
Roddy over. So that's Justin Patterson on the right-hand side. Matthew Brown on the left. Jake Varston just moved to watching it YouTube. He says definitely an OMT, that guy. Boost Army Motorsports supporting Zach. Here we go. Justin Patterson, Matthew Brown. Which way are we going? We are going OMT. One more time.
I love that for you. So we'll set the drivers off.
I was trying to give you uncomfortable silence.
We'll send the drivers off to change their tyres over as we look to the next battle. And of course, under your potential new interpretation, that would have gone one way. There would have been a decision.
Yeah, look, it's I've made no thing that there's over half of the drift decisions, or just under half of the drift decisions of the 27 different combinations that can be made. 48.1% of them are for an OMT. Of course, we're coming from a drift series that's 21 years old. There's Daniel Edwards and Aaron Habib ready to go out there on track. A drift series that's 21 years old. When we started, we didn't have all the technology and all the cameras and things, so it was very hard. The judges had to look at everything with their single eye, but there's only 7 ways that you can win combinations to make a win if you're a driver. So 14 in total, 7 for driver 1, 7 for driver 2, 13 different ways of making an OMT. I'm merely suggesting that in situations like that, when 2 judges can't decide, we'd call that a 50-50. 2 judges can't decide, it's 100 points each to the drivers. One judge was able to decide. In that case, it was Joel Counter. That would be 200 over 100, and it's just straight maths from there. So there's it would up the number of ways that you can win to 10 wins per driver, with only 7 opportunities of creating an OMT. And simple maths would allow us to actually, I don't know, claim back some of the time that we lose when we finish in the dark.
Look at that. That's well thought out. I like the numbers that just roll off there. You know it, you've got it.
Yeah.
Well embedded.
So right now, Aaron Habib, he's got a 25.99% chance of winning this, as does the driver he's going up against, Daniel Edwards.
So I wonder if Habib here potentially not happy with his car.
Well, he's headed off, and if he is heading off, that will be his 5 minutes for the... So we'll head down to the slip road.
Yeah, so you can see there, the Max Civil Construction.
Okay, that was actually, here's one. That was a miss. Didn't actually enter the result correctly, and Joel Counter was meant to be an OMT as well. So that would have been 3 straight down the middle, which is my favourite way of also creating an OMT.
100% agree with the OMT on that then.
Yeah, of course.
So Aaron Habib, yeah, good to see the sign running all back up and running, looking good. Always well presented as that BMW. So the next one on the list, Sam Rossen and Jody Bell. Of course, a local to Fielding, her home track as such. Did they make her qualify first?
I think they gave her top points because she's done so many laps that it wasn't no point in the boys going up against Jody. All right, let's find out what's going on down in the pits with Steve McIver.
Well, there is a lot going on, and I'm going to throw to Ben in the pits. We'll call him Ben in the pits because he knows a lot more of what's going on with this car. Ben?
Rightio, so just getting a little update from Roddy Knowles, teammate of Justin Patterson. Justin Patterson, unfortunately, in that first run, has made contact with one of the cones, a clipping point, and in turn of that, with all the water lines running to the rear radiator in this car, up and under, it has smashed the water pump off. So preparing the car now, he's allowed to touch the car. He doesn't have to call his 5 minutes just yet until his competitor lines back up on the line, and then they'll have to call their competition 5 minutes. So the boys thrashing away in there, getting some fresh tyres on the back, and hopefully they'll be back out there in just a second to run that one more time.
Well, there we go. Thank you, Ben. And here goes the 2J Engineering EFI and Turbo A31 Safiro of Jody Bell. Our Bell of drifting. Sam Rawson, the greatest moustache in the D1NZ Pro Sport Championship. It's the old school versus the old school.
So Sam Rowson will lead Jody Bell out for the first half of this battle. And the final one of the top 32, as far as the tree's concerned, we've still got another one to go. And there it is, there's that moustache.
Well, they kick themselves into life and start heading up towards. Jody's just going for a slightly different approach. As Jody's still on the track, she's right up on under there. I'm just going to give her all the style points in the world. But Sam, moving his way through the section.
So it comes through to complete, and Jody, probably a chance to check out some of those steering components after a heavy off there. We'll take a look. It's got initiation there. She started with good proximity as well. And just over, but too much angle there. Got out of shape in behind Rowson, and then just lost herself towards the outer zone and onto the ripple strips and the dirt. So Sam going through to complete the run. And I mean, when we talk about home track advantage, you know, there's certain tracks that guys and girls spend a lot of time with. Jody spends a lot of time here drifting at Manfeild on the different play days and whatnot, drift days. But this circuit itself, this setup itself, or the layout, is something that I'm sure Jody, the first ever time it's been used.
Yeah, it hasn't been used a lot, certainly not in competition drifting. First time I think that D1NZ's ever run this layout. They do go backwards. They go WD, wrong direction on this track from time to time. Now, I'm going to say that Jody is going to set a scorcher of a lead run as we see Aaron Khabib back out on track.
So Max Civil on the side of that one for Aaron, and Horizon Tyres on the side of Daniel Edwards. We'll see that battle very shortly.
So just to confirm that, if you've gone back to the pits, that is essentially a forced 5 minute, and your 5 minutes is gone. He just flew through a tent. I know George from Inspire You enjoys a challenge, and I've seen many a time I know he's landed in a car before that's been going sideways just so that they could use it for the edit.
Ah. So, just waiting for the AOK to get going again for Sam Rowson to lead out Jody Bell. So Jody should be disappointed in herself, I'm sure. She would have had pretty high expectations. Call the unofficial drift queen of Manfeild. Is there anyone else that would challenge her for that position? Anyway, her turn to lead out Sam Rowson. They go away, initiate into the first corner, and Rowson's actually fallen behind here.
Told you she's going to gap him, and she's going to put a scorcher down.
So Jody Bell, strong lead so far. And bang bang there, the clipping point.
Well, she grabbed that one. That was how you grabbed that clip.
So unfortunately, potentially not enough that Jody's done in her lead there, but Sam Rowson doing what he needed to in behind to hang on. Actually, taking a look at that chase run, Sam Rowson has filled those outer zones, those boxes, the clipping points very well. Jody there, well and truly picking up those ones. And a little bit shallow on the final box. Sam comes through to fill it really nicely. So Jody Bell. Extremely good line from Sam Rowson, actually. If you dissect it up a little bit and take a proper look at every box that he's hit here, just filled each clipping point box very well.
Right, well, there, a shout out to 2JJZ. What a wonderful name you've got. Are we going to call it CJ Bass or CJ Bass? Absolutely owning me. Well done. I think you deserve some love as well.
So Jody on the right, and we have Sam on the left. And they're going to send them one more time.
Get it right, he's been told. All right, well, we'll see if we've got any judges have got their ears on this morning, and we can have a quick chat. Maybe welcome them to the show.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, my apologies. Hello, how are you, Andrew Edward?
G'day, how you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. It's great to be here. How are you enjoying the challenge of the wrong direction?
It's actually really surprised us, I think. We thought there would be some issues coming out of that hairpin, which there are a few, but it's really quite a cool looking section, and it looks like the drivers are having fun. That last battle there with Jody, I felt that Sam just didn't fulfill his role as a chase driver, and I inactive him in the chase position.
Wow.
And after the calls came through, Joel said he did the same. JT didn't inactive him, and then the first run was 10-0, so obviously he put Sam through. Yeah, I put a lot of emphasis on that. If you're at a 10-0 disadvantage, you still have to go out there and drift and try and chase people. You can't just sit 10 car lengths back and get through.
Well, it's part of drifting, isn't it? So you've got to make sure. So backing off is not the way to go. You want to see...
No, you still have to be out there drifting. There's no risk. There's no point being here.
Well, thank you very much. Certainly enjoy the opportunity to talk to you guys during the day. You're doing a great job, as you always do, and we'll let you guys get back into your amazing roles. Of course, those are our three judges, of course, led by Andrew Redwood and Joel Counter to his right, and to JT Wharedo, the very first ever DK of the D1NZ.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly plenty of experience up there, and the eyes have been on drifting a lot.
Good on them for what they've done, like in that decision. I mean, it kind of makes sense. He's like...
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great that we can cross to them and talk to them about these decisions. And, I mean...
Take the Luke Fink approach. Oh, I'm at a 10-0 advantage. Well, I'm going to put it on your door anyway. It's going to make you a better drifter.
All right, back to the action. Daniel Edwards up against Aaron Habib. Daniel Edwards leading out in the Rossen tyres. 180. And Aaron Habib, all little correction in behind there at the moment for him. And... what was that? We'll have to take a look from the top, I think, to see whether that was a straight line from Habib in the chase.
Well, he comes through to finish. They grab that outside. You see the white box on the side of the track, on the left-hand side of the track, and we want to see the rear tyres come through and basically graze that. So they'll come through, head back onto the straight again as we look at what happened here. So a nice start by both of these drivers, heading up and filling that zone. As they start making their way up to that clip, that's where the correction is from Aaron Habib in the chase. He comes through in a couple of those orange cones, head in a fun direction.
Yeah, Aaron won't be happy with that chase. We take a look at it from the top now, thanks to George at Inspire You. And it was almost a reinitiation in the centre part as well, so it was a good start. And then you see him straighten up there. Oh, he just kept it going. It was almost a correction of anything, but there's the reinitiation through the centre part, and then washes wide. And a good job up front by Daniel Edwards. Puts on the smoke show through the finishing flags. And I just want to go back to those judges, you know, like what it's the one thing that always admires me about drifters, as far as the competitors go as well as the judges go, is that it's a sport where you don't just drop a green flag and the first one of the black and white flag finishes. It's a judge sport. They are human. They are going to make mistakes. People are going to often not agree with what they think or see or what they see. You know, we all do it when we're watching drifting, but you know, just had to admire that they do that. It's just amazing. So, second half of this battle was underway.
Well, here we go. Aaron Habib, it's his turn to lead. And did we see a car shut off? Whatever happened, he has left the chat. So Daniel Edwards, he's still just taking the opportunity to finish and get a bit of track time.
Yeah, a bit of bodywork loose on the left-hand side of Edwards' car. I don't think there was no contact back there, was there?
He stopped out there on track as Aaron Habib, so I know we saw a little bit of shutdowns and things. Case Bull and Barry had issues, so he's no contact, and very lucky not to. Actually, Aaron Habib realised that the contact was about to potentially happen, so he drove forward.
And took their quick escape route, yeah, a little escape road there.
Maybe a line tow required, which we'll see. See them slow it down. A few questions about what's happening at Bay Park. Actually, let's go and have a look from the overhead. So there's absolutely no drive in that car at that point.
just loses all drive.
Yeah, no tyre smoke, no anything. So Daniel Edwards does not have to complete the run.
So a stranded Aaron Khabib BMW out there, and a little bit more than a line tow by the looks. Straight onto the trailer. And
well, I mean, we're well, as the crowd starts to build, of course the pit lane does the same thing, and it'll be interesting to see what's happening down in the pits. I think we've got Ben Jenkins ready to find out what's going on.
Right, we're down here with Justin Patterson. They have forced the 5-minute rule upon him. He has Matthew Brown sitting out on the line ready to go. So unfortunately, he has to take his 5-minute call. The boys are nearly done. A lot of people getting underneath the car. Fix that water pump. Russell Veer's in there, making sure everything's all tidy up. They're about to give it a quick bleed up, and he should make that out on the line within his 5 minutes.
All right, thank you, Ben. So they're bleeding things up. They're got the forced 5 minutes. Now, when they talk about that, they said that there's a car out on the line. If the opposition doesn't head to the line, they can kind of drag it on a little bit, and that's something that we don't want to see, because why? It just makes for really bad TV, makes for a bad event when you're slowing things down. And so because the car has gone up and actually taken the line, there's now a forced 5 minutes. And there we go, Daniel Edwards. It's cut and dry for him. He's going to take that one.
I'm making him sit here while we just went through that 5. Sorry, man. Okay, happy with the way that first run went?
Yeah, I'm stoked. It's not nice winning like that, you know. It's always nice, a fair and square win, but I'll take anything after our performance yesterday. Well,
the performance has put you back into second in the championship, so today again is another big day for you. No pressure, pal.
No pressure, no pressure. No, we're on. Let's hope we can. I don't even know who I have up next, but hopefully we can make it.
Let me just check who you've got next. How about that, Zaden?
Oh, true, Zach. Oh, yeah, that'll be a good one. We're on.
There we go. We're on. Let's go.
We're on.
Daniel Edwards, nice and happy to get through there to the top 16. There's Aaron Khabib in the recovery position.
Well, if that's the case, he should be on his side.
So I realised when I started saying, I was like, do I really want to say this?
Well, I understand our D1NZ admins moved to YouTube, and comment of the day for him is the power steering has left the chat.
Cambank Drift is in the chat as well. Take a look at the 5-minute bow. Still plenty of time left for them at this stage. Bonnet looks like it's going down. Jace from Infomotive rotor up.
And they're going to make it.
Good camaraderie as well. You know, obviously Roddy Knowles, teammate of Justin Patterson. He's not been knocked out of the...
Did you say that Justin Patterson is Roddy's boss?
He actually, yes.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Same.
Yeah, same. Just a little different.
Teammates, boss. But yeah, you know, Russell Veer getting down there as well. See the RPM fabrication on the front of Justin Patterson's car. So Matthew Brown just waits patiently out on track.
And of course that is the reason why the 5-minute has to start, because Matthew's taken his grid position. So they're going to go up and throw through the tape measures, just ensure the alignment is as close to right as they can, and then the car will head out.
So taking a look at the chats. A couple of dusty people out there this morning. And Warren most definitely. Palmerston, well, not so much in Palmy. Manawatu does look different without those goggles on. So just the final little checks going on the S13, the MTF Finance Cambridge one. Still just under 3 minutes to go. You can see there on the timer. That is the official D1NZ timer.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of talk in the chat about what's going to be happening up in the next round we're heading to. You know what? Let's go and find out.
The Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship is heading to Tauranga for the grand finale of the 2024 season. 50 of New Zealand's best sideways masters take on New Zealand's House of Drift, the concrete jungle of Bay Park Stadium, in a 2-night electrifying motorsport showcase, which crowns a champion. An atmosphere like no other with high horsepower drifting battles, show cars, monster truck demonstration and more. Thousands of tyres, hundreds of battles, but there can be only one Drift King. Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship Grand Finale, Bay Park Stadium, Friday and Saturday, May 10th and 11th. Get your tickets now at D1NZ.com.
Yeah, and make sure that you get your tickets because it does sell out, and it will sell out if it's probably, you know, we don't have a percentage.
Do you know where you can get your tickets from? D1NZ.com.
Who does those voiceovers for D1NZ? That's amazing.
I don't know, but there are thousands of tyres, hundreds of battles, but there can only be one Drift King.
So
360.
360?
Words per minute.
Ah.
Do you know why? I can tell you why, actually. It's ridiculous.
How did you get to know this? Yeah.
I counted it because I'm always interested to know, because I can actually do that. That was in 32 seconds, I think, for that voiceover. I wanted to see how fast I could do it, and I managed to get it to well over 400 words a minute. So I got it down to 20 seconds.
But I'm guessing that, you know, the video can match it a little bit longer and you don't have to quite go that fast.
What used to happen was we would have STM, we need to get a voiceover. We're going to talk about MTF Finance, and we've got to talk about D1NZ, and we're going to mention Repco and Napa Auto Parts, Scrub Box, and we're going to mention all of these things here. And we're going to talk about, say, Luke Fink coming from Australia to be there, and we're going to talk about a monster truck demonstration and the Inspire You drone. And I need that in 20 seconds. The only way you can do that is by talking extremely quickly. Oh, come on, land it in the car. Make a great addition to George's Inspire You showreel.
So a nice simultaneous scrub there from the boys. Justin Patterson, Matthew Brown for there one more time. Justin Patterson will lead out Matthew Brown after being the higher finisher in yesterday's round number 3 of the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship. We're looking for the last place in the top 16. Justin's going to lead out Matthew into the hairpin for the first time. Good initiation, and Matthew Brown's right there as they come through to complete the first turn.
Justin Patterson, great job to start. Grabs that outside clip, makes his way back down, and that is an aggressive switch coming through splash. Slightly well off, actually, that last clip, and will come through to finish.
Yeah, so we'll take another look at that. I think Justin was a little bit shallow on some of those clipping points. Matthew Brown will get a minor deduction for a late wheel off. So nice aggressive start for Patterson, and Matthew Brown is right there on the door. Justin looks like he managed to get to that outer zone. So at this point here, I think the arc ends up being a bit shallow, and you can see from the final shot there, he's actually a good couple of metres off that final box. Matthew Brown, though, well and truly in there with one wheel off. So only minor deduction for wheels off.
So I see Matthew Brown has joined the Let's Turn Up in a Truck Brigade here at the D1NZ. Truck and trailer, it's getting harder and harder to fit them in the picks. Matthew Brown finishing through. He did a nice job in the chase. What are we thinking? Advantage?
Yes.
As in win? Second half of the battle now. Justin was able to hold on to his run. So I'd say advantage in the favour of Matthew Brown. Let's see how the two drivers can go as they enter back through into the hairpin this time. Matthew Brown hits that outside. That's the clip right there. They'll bring the nose down. Here comes Patterson trying to close up on the door. Switches through.
Yeah, pretty clean second half of the battle there as well. Justin, he shallowed up a little bit to try and gain proximity. So I wonder if he'll get marked down slightly for that one there. I'll take another look from the start to finish. And it was a good lead run for Justin to chase. So filled those zones nicely. That's where he shallowed right up. He gained the proximity that he wanted to get, and a little bit early on the switch as well, I think, for Justin there. Follows through for a good finish. So if you want me to answer the question, I guess maybe Matthew Brown. Won't be by much.
Just looking at some of the comments from the chat on Facebook. How about STM and Tony G drift battle at Bay Park?
I think that would have to get into stock cars, given it's against the concrete wall, so that if we do crash, it doesn't matter as much.
Well, I was thinking of going that a straight line is not good in drifting, but a straight line is really, really good in speedway. Both of us have raced stock cars in the past. At one stage, I think you had scored enough points to be D1NZ. Let's not go there. And I'd like to straight line you and wind you off the end of Bay Park.
I'm happy with that. Let's go.
Okay, there we go.
How much have you been drifting before?
Oh,
you driven?
No, not since the old days when we're not allowed to talk about these things because it was on the roads. Here we go. We've had a result come through, and Matthew Brown will take the win.
Well, you had to wait, but you got the job done.
Yeah, I'm glad we could go out and battle again and do it properly. Would feel wrong doing it the other way, so I'm happy.
When you say do it properly, what does that mean for you?
Before it would have 10-0 each way, so this time we got a proper battle and could have a win, so that's awesome.
Mate, you roll on. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Justin, yeah. Oh, you're going to talk to Joel. Well, you talk to him. I didn't see you there, man.
Over here with Justin Patterson, unfortunately taking the loss, but his team cranked out to get his car fixed in time. What happened, Justin?
Oh, I think it came down to my lead. I know that I missed some of those outer zones. The car felt good. The boys, thank you so much for getting that water, the water pump back on. It was snapped in half and they rushed to get it done. Some of the other boys on the crew stepping up and giving us some parts. It's just, that's the community of drifting.
That's it. We'll see you at Bay Park.
Awesome, mate. We'll definitely be there.
Thanks, Justin.
So we just saw what's called in the industry a lower third or a ticker. Did I just see human tripod camera legend Tony Wilson?
That's exactly what you saw.
That is not enough to describe him. They clearly ran out of... well, hang on, I'll tell you what they haven't run out of. This is the OMT with Sam Rossen and Jodie Bell. Now, we saw Jodie was struggling in the chase the last time, but this time here, she looks like she's got it on lock. Nice, clean lead run by Rossen. And they come through to finish. Sam, she puts down a very nice lead run. Your little inactive chase, don't let it cost you.
So we'll take another look here. They got well into it nice and early. And Jodie Bell looks to close out the proximity. Sam Rossen, though, filling out those outer zones very nicely. Now look for a slight mistake from Jodie in the chase here. She switches a little bit early, and it was a little bit of a... Was that a straight line?
Wow, you really like picking on people, don't you?
It was that clean between them.
Okay, here's one for you. Had she entered the circuit under drift as well?
It was ever so slightly in the chase, trying to find something here between what was otherwise a pretty clean, you know, certainly not mirroring what happened earlier on with the messiness.
Was that just the handbrake drag coming in? I don't know. That's why we're not judges, and they are amazing, our judging team.
I know exactly what's up there. The last person I'd want to judge a drifting competition would be myself.
I would love, because you've got EFI and Turbo on the side, I'd love to judge chicken drifting from EFI and Turbo. When the drone goes faster than the... Well, let's have a look and see how Jodie goes as she leads out Sam Rossen.
So Jodie laying down a nice fast one here. She's,
that might be enough.
A bit shallow on the way out was Jodie Bell. So we'll take another look at that there. So she was a little bit off there in her zone. Sam Rossen trying to keep up, and she was carrying some good pace through the section was Jodie Bell. And nice aggressive switch as well there, but just straightened herself up a little bit, kept it in the drift, but very shallow to that last outer point.
We're trying to encourage her to maybe head from home and head up north to Bay Park for the grand finale as well. 2J Engineering, EFI and Turbo on the side of Jodie Bell's car. And that's when we see, did she lose drift? I think the disadvantages or the corrections that potentially occurred should, in theory, be enough for Sam to maybe take the win. As Jodie heads down, the judges deliberating. And which way is it going to go? We can see the lights flashing, and with 61 on the door, Sam Rossen will take the win.
Well, it took a while, but you got there.
We got there in the end, yeah. It was good chase from Jodie. It was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
she'd be happy with it actually, because she's struggling with it a little bit, the chase.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I didn't see that, but she was on the door, so good on her, eh?
How you find the reverse track?
Much better than yesterday.
Well, only because it's dry, huh?
Yeah, true.
All right, well done, mate. Get to you in the next round.
Well, back to it. I'm a great fan of the Laurels and things. What's your favourite drift car?
My favourite drift car? You know my new favourite drift car?
What's that?
Renee Richmond's RX-7.
I bet he's got a Link ECU under the bonnet. If he doesn't, I tell you who can do something amazing. And that is the team from Link Engine Management.
Link Engine Management too. I always say we build computers for race cars. We build sophisticated engine and mobile power management systems for automotive, heavy transport, aviation and marine applications. Our innovation over the last 30 years has created a world-class product, and we're really proud to be one of the first companies in the world to have an off-the-shelf hydrogen engine management solution for the internal combustion process. I think recruitment's easier in the tech space here in Christchurch because there's so many similar companies around who are doing either hardware development or software development. The universities like the University of Canterbury have a really great intern program that we benefit from. One of our exciting collabs at the moment is working with Roden Cars. The great thing about having a relationship and a partnership with Roden is they're challenging us to be at our best. And our engineers get together and honestly, they're like a bunch of passionate kids because they get to talk about motorsport all day, and what's not to like about that?
Well, let's have a look at the battle tree so far.
So the Link ECU top 16, Daniel Smith after taking the win yesterday in position number 1 will go up against Aidan Deli. We've got Daniel Cordwell up against Dean Young. Isaac Aldridge will take on Luke Chapelle II, and Adam Whitehead will go up against Jason Wu.
In the bottom side of the tree, we've got Keisuke Nagashima going up against Daniel Crinkle, with Braden going up against Matthew Brown. Zach Zaden will face Daniel Edwards, and Matty J, well, whoever was the winner of the OMT is what I've got on there. So this is for a spot now in the Mimico top 8, and Sam Rowson, yes, is the winner of that one. We'll be facing Matty J. We talk about the winner of today, well, it has to face the winner of yesterday at some stage. Maybe it's now. But Aidan Deli in the chase position. Daniel Smith took his first ever round win yesterday in the Torque Performance Developments. Ooh, almost thought that he'd maybe had some contact. It wasn't. Slight correction for Daniel Smith, but he'd make his way back up, grab that outside zone and make his way through Splash.
Yeah, so Daniel Smith trying to keep that momentum from yesterday. A little bit shallow in the final clip as well. Aidan Deli though, well, it'll be interesting to see if he kept the drift all the way through the section there at the end. But Daniel Smith, yeah, congratulations on picking up your first round win yesterday. We'll take a look at the Dale ITM replay there. Nice big angle for Daniel Smith on initiation. Aidan Deli right there as well. Little correction in the chase. And nice and aggressive switch there. A correction in the front and the back.
Well, he comes through to finish as they head into Splash. Looks like that inside arc to try and grab. Missing the outside clip at that point. Finishing out of Splash.
And
great angle.
Yeah, completely disregard what I said about Aidan Deli not finishing. He was on a switchback. That's why he looked so far on that side of the track. So
just slight steering adjustments, and you can see that if you see a small adjustment up the front, means that the slip angle in the back is going to change.
Yeah, so it's a little bit tough to call there on the latter part of the section as well. Daniel Smith shallow on the final clipping point. Aidan Deli filling that last outer clip really nicely.
So Torque Performance Developments, Casper Transmissions, along with many, many other supporters of Daniel Smith. Certainly, I know that the entire D1NZ team, the team behind the series, couldn't have been more prouder of Daniel Smith. He's been a part of us for as long as I've been here, which is about 12 or 13 seasons. And when he won his first one, there was certainly a couple of tears. RHP Reed Harrison Performance on the side with Limitless Tyres. Aidan Deli doing a great job up front. We'll go up and check out that run as we head to the replay.
Yeah, solid lead run for the second half of this battle from Aidan Deli. You can hear the noise from the team down there as well. So we look at him come through there, fills the outer zone. I don't know how shallow he was on the inner clip there, but starts making a little bit of gap, carrying some good speed through this one. So the lead run from Deli, is it going to be enough? Fills that outer zone good there as well. So it'll be a tough one to call here for the first battle of the top 16 for the judges.
Well, let's go and ride on board with George from Inspire You. That was slightly off his clip before transitioning through to grab that outside on the right. Out of zone on the left again. I think it was probably filled a little bit better by Daniel Smith than Aiden on the top before switching back to finish. Aiden definitely grabbed that, the inside coming out of splash, so a hard one to call.
Yeah, saw the big correction from Daniel Smith late in that piece actually as well.
Well, no, great support for both of these drivers as we go through. It looks like the judges have made a decision. Which way will it strike? And it will be 1-2 strikes in favour of Aiden Deli.
Hey, you just knocked out yesterday's round winner.
Yeah, bloody stoked, eh? He's a wicked driver. He's fantastic. Real good to drive with him, but yeah, stoked that I came out with the win.
Word is you got a bit of a chat from brother Clayton last night. What did he say? What did he actually say to you? Don't swear now, you're PG-13.
Oh, he's just giving me his little tips and tricks. You know, foot flat on the gas and just running as hard as you can.
Well, he'll be happy that you listened. Well done, we'll see you in the next round.
Sweet, thanks heaps.
I tell you what, that Deli family are absolutely amazing.
Here with yesterday's round winner, but unfortunately, Daniel, what happened today, mate?
Oh, today we've been plagued with car issues all morning. Shout out to the crew. They worked late here last night and they were back here at 5 this morning. I think the gearbox has been in and out 3 or 4 times and it's still not quite right. We've only done 1 test lap and my line was just crap. It really wasn't the greatest. So no, well done to Aiden. He's done well and hopefully he goes all the way.
Wait, who are we without our crews, eh?
Oh, that's right. The crew's everything. You know, they follow you around the country and they stay up late working on the car. You know, I got my young fella here, so we went and got some sleep and they were here early this morning working on it and I can't thank them enough. So, yeah.
All right, Daniel. Well done, mate. Good weekend. We'll see you at Bay Park, eh?
Now, seeing people at Bay Park, Steve, and you mentioned the Deli family, I have it on good authority. I think we're going to see Seaton there. So not so much in the Rattler Mustang, but I'm not going to say 100%, but I think I can confirm that potentially one of the other cars is coming out and Seaton.
The hardest thing with the Deli family is they've got about 35 drift cars, so you know the other car could be anything. I'm just interested to see what the other engine that might be going in will be. There's some engine changes, not for me to tell you, but if I do find out, and am I allowed to say, I definitely will. Daniel Cordwell in the VIP, frames and trusses out of Christchurch, leads out Dean Young in the SF Tiling 1.5 JZ powered Nissan S13. Strong run by Cordwell.
Yeah, Dean Young, nice and aggressive on the chase as well. So a really good looking pro sport battle here for the first half. It's the Link ECU top 16. Second battle. We'll take another look here as Cordwell throws into the section. Look at the proximity from Young there as well. And the outer zone's just being filled brilliantly from Cordwell. And nice wide line. I just love where the line is of this whole section. It just opens up for some great watching. There's where Dean Young again closes it right up. So yeah, have to call it 50-50 there. Great lead run, great chase run.
Let's check it from above. So comes through, smooth arc, heads back up to the top of the track, comes through in a snappy transition to grab that right hander. You see not a lot of movement in the lead driver's steering to go up and just smooth arc again. And then holds it there. The only person that's really doing any corrections, but you have to do that when you're in a chase position, is Dean Young.
Yeah, it's just a lot of trust in that driver in front of you too. You're just waiting for any sort of movement from that car, and Dean Young just trying to keep it nice and tight. But yeah, just ever so. I mean, Dean Young, last time he was here, had a big accident as well, didn't he? Had a lot of damage into the side of Ingram's car.
Oh, is that so when he tried to ride off NDT? Has that come back since with Brian owning it? No. They fixed it and sold it. All right, let's have a look and see how Dean Young goes from the lead position. SF Tiling on the door. Cordwell kind of looks like he's washed out a little bit wide. He's managed to drop back a few car lengths.
Yeah, I mean the proximity, a bit of a grass drag there at the end for Cordwell, well after the section of course. So Dean Young, a big smoke show actually from the SF Tiling S13 up front. Let's take another look at it as he initiates, and Cordwell's right there to start with, and it was about here that Dean put the hammer down and the smoke just filled it up. Cordwell starts falling back and we almost start getting lost in the smoke at this point. He did keep the drift in behind though. It was just the proximity over anything that Dean Young's probably got over Cordwell. Look at that, that box is just, yeah, go back to that line. It's a great layout, and we're in for one heck of a show later on when the pros come through, as well as the top 16, top 8 of this Pro Sport tree. And the Pro Sport drivers loving it.
Well, they certainly are. I'm just having guys speaking to Coleman down, well, up in Auckland, who does and has taken care of basically all the scoring for many, many years. And he said, Steve, it's 100 points for a win. Gave me a few of the deficits to see whether or not the results could force a championship win today. Dean Young will take all 3 strikes.
Got to say, that lead allowed you a very good chase in that first run. He had a good lead, huh?
He did, yeah. No, it was awesome. Good lead always provides a opportunity for a good chase, man.
Yeah, but does it put the pressure on you with the lead in the second run?
It does, it does. And I've been coming in a little bit on my middle section and stuff, so I was trying to stay out wide as long as I could, but yeah. Oh, it's awesome. I'm stoked, man.
Harder to adjust than coming in the reverse this time around?
I love it, eh? I like it.
Mate, I'll take that any day of the week. Get ready for your next round.
Beauty, man. Thank you.
And lots of support in the Facebook chat as well.
Yeah, really
from
good.
Tanya Young for her cousin Dean.
Yep, come on, Cuzzy. Come on, Cuzzy.
Let's go, Dino. So next battle on the tree is Isaac Aldridge up against Luke Chapelle II.
Well, let's have a look how they go. The BMW straight into life. Just watch these, just so much power. Look at all that torque and just baking.
And so, oh, we've lost that. Oh, there's the chase driver with a bit of a straight line there as well. So Luke Chapelle II behind.
So that would be almost considered inactive, as well as the fact that there was a mighty straight line coming out of the hairpin. One of the things that we always talk about is if we see issues like that, that could essentially zero somebody else's run from a lead position. It's Isaac's has to go through and finish off his lap. So here is where he's lost. There is the straight line. And good to see the judges getting some energy boost. It's a long day when you're making sure that you are completely focused all day long.
So we'll see here. Oh, we're too busy advising. I don't want to say too out loud, too loud. I was admiring the sound that was coming from the BMW. And there you can see the reinitiation and behind from Chapelle II. And he goes through. So heavy advantage, one would say, to Isaac Aldridge after the first half of that battle.
Well, it's 50% done and it's a half to go. You can make all the mistakes in the world, but you do have another chance, and this chance is right now. So we've already seen once today, if you don't go and back yourself when you're at a huge advantage, well, that's another way of doing it too.
And I do like that from Red with the call, you know. You can't just expect to go out there and put on a really conservative chase run and expect to still go through, because you've got, you know, and we don't, you know, say unofficially a 10-0 or a big advantage. And I think it's great that he said that to them, and then actually enforcing it as well. So,
but because it was done earlier on the day as well, one of the things that George just had to jump over a cone because he was flying so low. But because of that thing there, the other drivers in the field have just heard and it's been set. So they're going to know if there's a mistake at Bay Park. No, you put your foot down, you keep in it. If there's another mistake later on today in the Pro Championship, they're going to know you cannot back off.
And that's it. And speaking of not backing off, Isaac Aldridge still going through there, finishing off the run, using that to his advantage to get another run under his belt. I just noticed here through the first turn, actually, Steve, see how wide there's a bit of oil soak there. And we notice, you know, if you are washing wide and you're losing grip, going straight off the end. And I've seen a couple of drivers do it. I've only actually just picked up the fact that there's some oil soak down on that surface. So Aldridge,
it was hard to see any of that yesterday because it was all in the form of a clear liquid.
there was plenty of rainbows all over the track surface. It's amazing how much oil is down on a racetrack.
Well, let's see who's going to take the win. And, well, Stephen McIver, he's right in front of you right now. Isaac Aldridge takes the victory.
Okay, Happy with what you've done so far?
Yeah, happy with that. Struggled with the car setup a little bit this morning. Just obviously we hadn't really run the track in the dry, so just trying to get on top of that nice and quickly. And car felt real good out there today in that lap. So
some suggestions. Is there any oil out there on that first turn? Any oil dump or anything there?
I didn't really notice. I didn't notice anything. It felt alright, so I guess maybe I might have missed it. But
who would you like, Whitehead or Wu in the next round?
Always Jason. Always Jason.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Let's see.
Well, there's no mistaking about who he wants to win the next battle. Just like that. So yeah, that all must be out nice and
Hey
white.
mate, how are you? Sorry Stevie. Sorry about that, mate. Hey, learning curve, right?
Learning curve, all right, yeah. Yep. Well, we'll come back next season, put a bit more power into the car and try again.
How much power do you want?
Oh, I don't have enough at the moment, I don't think.
Right, nice to see you, pal. Well played.
Thank you, man.
Well, he said he wants Jason Wu, and the Eurofighter is out there right now. But it will be Adam Whitehead who will lead out the first lap of this battle in the Plan B hydraulics Pertec machine out of the mighty Hawke's Bay.
And so Adam's putting on a strong run out there. Jason Wu, he's right there as well. And he's always rinsed it a little bit wide there, Jason. And Adam Whitehead with a good solid lead run. Adam finishing 5th in yesterday's competition.
And of course that 5th place in the competition meant that Adam would go and qualify or be seeded 5th today. So Jason Wu finishing in 12th position. And that's how the lineup happened.
Take another look here later in that part of the run. Jason Wu here just aiming for that outer zone. And he's just one, maybe 2 wheels off. Couldn't quite tell in the smoke there.
Well, one thing to potentially look at is was that 3 wheels off. And the reason I say that is the one thing that judges have been very clear about is they really don't want to see any of the cars running the ripple strips. Why? Because we're in reverse direction. These ripple strips are designed to be basically taken in one way. Now, there's definitely 2 wheels off. Question would be, did he put a 3rd off onto the ripple strip as well?
Yeah, I mean, from that angle, it's quite hard to see from that smoke. They're pouring off their cars. Of course, Adam Whitehead currently sitting 3rd in the championship chase. I mean, 34 points behind the points leader, Keisuke Nagashima.
So D-Spec Racing Drift Academy, this is an E92 Eurofighter with a monster alias under the bonnet. Jason Wu behind the wheel. Jason Wu learning to drift at a Meri drift track up in Auckland. If you want to get into drifting, check out driftacademy.co.nz. Also a great place if you want to tour around the world and maybe go to Ibiza and try everything there is to try with Sky Zhao and the team. But if you're looking for a Plan B, there's a hydraulics company down in Hawke's Bay.
I love that for a name too. So we'll take a look at the replay. Thanks to Dale, ITM, Jason Wu in the lead position this time around. And Adam Whitehead with a potential advantage, not much though. Keeps the proximity pretty good, good angle and good line as well. Might go the way of Adam Whitehead maybe.
All right, I'm going to say now that I think Jason Wu's going to pick up a round. If not Bay Park, he would one next year.
So those outer zones, like we say constantly as well, a good lead run means for a good chase run. So Jason Wu's laid down a really good lead run here. Unfortunately, what that means is that it will revert down to potentially his chase. And there was that deduction.
Not sure if you have been reading any of the stuff that's going on, but a little bit further back, Ra Hader was just mentioned that you're admiring a V8 sound.
No, I wasn't. I was not admiring a V8 sound, Ra, at all. I was just saying that we were listening to it.
Oh, Kenny Ruddles joined the chat. What's not to love with Kenny?
See some love reactions for Kenny Ruddle in the chat.
And there's some love reactions for Adam Whitehead as well. He's going through.
Well, he pushed you in that second run.
Yeah, no, that was good. Big ups to Jason. He's got a pretty cool car. I like following that. So, no, that was a cool run. Car's feeling good. So we'll keep trucking on.
One more step today, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's the one. We'll go for it.
All right, Jason over here. Seems to be maybe just a little wheel drop in that chase run.
Yeah, I just did my best against one of the best drivers. So I'm happy to drive against him. So yeah, very happy today. Good, yeah.
Yeah, so good to see you drive and progress. Good on you, man.
You know what we need to do is we need to line up his the man who builds his car, Sky Zhao. Now, if I'm right, he's still got a Ferrari, maybe a 458 or 488. Jason's got a beautiful McLaren, and you and I could go and steal those and take them for a lap at Bay Park.
Maybe that drift battle.
No, don't just drive them slowly.
Well, no, it was. Okay, sure, they're insured.
Well, I mean, let's talk nicely to Mikey and we'll see if he can bring his McLaren. Well, we've talked about him a lot, and he's certainly shown how good he is. Keisuke Nagashima in the 86 Fighters. AE86, Daniel Crinkle, he'll have a point to prove as well. The more he drifts in the D1NZ, the more comfortable he looks behind the wheel of that. Oh, look what I just did. Sora.
So Keisuke Nagashima, say it once, I'll say it again, the coolest name in New Zealand drifting. That 86 Fighters machine going screaming through the rest of the section. And Crinkle.
Just trying to think of like who I would think the coolest name would be.
I think Forrest Wang's a pretty cool name in world drifting. I remember the first time I heard that name. There you can see Crinkle just washing wide there. And, well, I mean, reinitiates, comes through. Keisuke doing a great job. So half the job done. Now, we've mentioned it. He needs to, I mean, it's not in Keisuke's nature to be conservative in a chase anyway, so we're probably not going to use this as a very good example of what Redwood is looking for throughout the day.
Just up to speed.
And it's almost like when I talk about that all on the wide line, once Crinkle got offline to the outer point where that oil drain is that he just, yeah, lost all grip and away he goes. So, if there are spotters there, dare I say, you probably want to make sure your drivers definitely not going wide on turn number 1.
Well, it's the JD Roofing Sora of Daniel Crinkle. His turn to lead as the lower qualifier. Keisuke Nagashima. The Torque Performance Developments AE86. He's trying to pass. You've got to be careful when you do that. You can run yourself out of room. So when he knows that the judge is going to score you down, and there is a wheel off.
A very nice chase from Keisuke, I must say. And the position that he's in as well, that is the opposite of conservative. Take another look here. And Crinkle initiates nice and wide. Just hangs on to the track surface there. Keisuke right up beside him. And a very aggressive chase from Keisuke Nagashima in the 86 Fighters machine. Crinkle in the JD Roofing. Sora up front, filling out his own nicest. Might have just dropped a wheel on the very end. So good battle there. On the bottom half of our tree, it is the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship Link ECU top 16 at the moment in the Pro Sport division. And the winner advancing to the top 8. We have Crinkle on the right, Keisuke Nagashima on the left. And it is unanimous. Keisuke Nagashima takes the win in the 86 Fighters.
My man Keisuke, how are we feeling?
Good, mate. We're on form today, just like we are yesterday, so car's feeling good, conditions are dry, perfect day.
Good, man. We'll see you in the grade 8.
Cheers, mate.
All right, Daniel, you know, it's just one of those things, right? You've got to be on from the get-go. The first run probably cost you.
Yeah, one little mistake and that's all it takes in this game, but, you know, we're here, we're doing it, and had a lot of fun, so.
How much are you learning?
Oh, it's awesome driving with these guys. The level that I'm used to driving at, it's just so much higher, so yeah, it's wicked. It's great.
See you next time around, bud.
Yeah, awesome. Cheers, mate.
Well, they'll head back into the pits. One to head back on the trailer. The other one to strap on a new set of tyres to keep on going.
So next battle out on track sees Braden Mayer and his RB30 powered Nissan Silvia up against another Silvia 2JZ powered, this time S13 of Matthew Brown. Both between 700 and 800 horsepower.
One of them just looks a bit more like an 86 rear end.
It's just a bit shortened, isn't it?
Well, we'll see how he goes. Braden Mayer will lead out. And, well, dialing on a lot of angle, and by doing so, he's been unable to hit his outside clip. Comes through and grabs the outer clip on the right-hand side before transitioning through. Definitely a fast run. And I was going to say, where's Matthew Brown gone?
Yeah, I think you find there's a mistake real early on from Matthew Brown. We'll take another look here. So Braden Mayer initiates into the first corner. Big sort of angle there to start with. And keep your eyes on the rear car right there. Big straight line from Matthew Brown. And has to reinitiate back and through the second half of that section. And you might see an advantage the way of Braden Mayer. And nice shortened up. I mean, he has to be careful. There's no bash bar in the back of that. So contact on the radiator. Of course, the majority of these Pro Sport cars and Pro cars run rear radiator mounts these days. You can see the fan set up hanging out the back of that. Obviously, I mean, all passing scrutineering and safety checks, etc.
If you get a chance, check out Jason Wu's through the rear window of his car. It's parked just around the corner from our commentary box position. Second half of the battle, though, Matthew Brown, a bit of work to do as he fires it into drift. Very shallow to start for Braden Mayer. He's going to try and jump on that rear bumper of Matthew Brown. Matthew Brown is a top qualifier at round number 1. It's Hopewell International Motorsport Park, and a lot of the time, as it probably does now, it comes down to the story of mistakes and who made the most and who made the worst of them. So, got 2 rounds to finish their lap.
So, a little bit of a correction on the start of Matthew Brown and Braden Mayer in behind, lacking the proximity. And a good, solid lead run, actually, from Matthew Brown. Big angle. And a great smooth line late in the section. So I can actually see the rear bumper is still on the Braden Mayer car. It's just missing a whole lot of bodywork off the back there. So,
yep, just exited the chat a couple of days ago. I don't think we've seen it since.
So one wheel on the ripple strip. Inner then outer for Braden Mayer on the way through.
So I understand that there's a few mechanical laps that will be occurring in the near time. Luke Fink, Sam West. Until then, let's find the result. Matthew Brown on the right-hand side. Luke Mayer on the left. The judges have their own judges replay system that encompasses all the different camera angles that we have with the D1NZ. Just awaiting their decision now. So when I say about the judges replay system, they've got the ability to watch their own, not necessarily what we see in the broadcasting. And it's going to be a one more time. Well, let's get ready for the next battle of the day. Zaden, Zach Saito, Zach Antics laying down the rubber, getting some heat into the back end of that S15. Daniel Edwards will be the next person to go out and scrub. It's 2JZ versus 2JZ, S15 versus the 180SX. Zach, he's got a 2J. That's got to be... I don't think there was any 2J that came out with less than 650 horsepower.
Yeah, well, 1,000 horsepower is like the new benchmark, isn't it? Even in the pro sport, we start seeing them come up and well and truly over.
I just saw a comment by Kenny Ruddle. 100% agree.
So, getting towards the lower half of the battle tree. Just a couple more battles to go and the one more time. And this Link ECU top 16.
So already occupying the spaces is Aidan Daly versus Dean Young, Isaac Aldridge versus Adam Whitehead, Keisuke Nagashima versus the OMT between Braden Meir and Matthew Brown. And now we've got this battle in front of us, Zach Zaden and Daniel Edwards. Zaden is in the Drift Antics S15. It's 2J versus 2J, and we'll see how well he can arc off and switch, transitioning through to the right-hand side. Another fast battle between the two of these great drivers.
Yeah, good lead, good chase there. It's going to be hard to try and see if there's any mistakes in that one. It was a good battle as far as what we saw there. So nice early initiation from Edwards in the chase there. Zach Zaden filling that out of zone nicely. Edwards right there on the tail of Zaden as well. Comes through, nice arc, no corrections. Looks like for me the driver, Edwards just piles on the angle to slow it up to match the pace of Saito. Zach Saito, that's what his name is on Facebook, sorry, Zach Zaden.
Oh, you can call him anything.
Call him anything you want, yeah.
Apart from Zach. Well, it's a great job to fill that outer zone. He'll come through, this is a second zone as well, and then he'll bring the nose back down. Switches. That's actually a really strong lead run. No insides at any point of this lap.
Just like that, that's a clean battle from these two drivers. Hard to pick them apart at this stage.
Well, the judges obviously deliberating. We can see Joel Counter looks like he's entered his score. They've all got what looks like a cell phone. Looks like a cell phone in front of them, which is how they choose the scores. And then that fires through via zeros and ones into the World Wide Web, and that creates a result. They've got their own judges replay system, which they can choose any of the different camera angles, so they can have a look at only the onboard or any camera 1, camera 2. Probably not so much for camera 5 that we're just seeing. Well, here we go, Daniel Edwards. What can you do this time?
So Edwards, big smoke show up front, but there's Zach right with him as well. And a little bit of a switch from Zach in behind. He's kept the proximity though, and another good lead run and another good chase run. They're going to have to nitpick the way out of that one to figure out who the winner of this battle is going to be. So take another look there as Edwards initiates. Zach Zaden right there with him. Looking for some corrections from the front wheels of Edwards. Very minor one, if any. And nice smooth lead run. A little bit shallow towards the very end of the run there from Zach. But that is absolutely trying to pick apart anything that I can possibly find to try and separate these guys.
It was a nice switch for Zach Zaden. I'm just going to find out whether or not the ripple strips, the rumble strips, are actually considered in or out. We've got a few more camera angles than other people, and I'm just watching George flying through buildings. Here we go. We'll find out which way they've chosen. Daniel Edwards on the right-hand side, Zach Zaden moving through into the left. Those are our three judges, and with 2 strikes in favour of Daniel Edwards, he will take the win.
That was a tight one. Were you just a little bit nervous with his chase on that second run?
Honestly, I don't look behind me, mate. I just focus. Look what's in front of me.
That's like that old story. What's behind me? I don't get it. I look at what's in the front of me.
Oh yeah, no. I don't know. I just went with it.
Feeling it?
Yeah, feeling it. The car's feeling beautiful today, so it's working in our favour, I think. Yeah.
All right, mate, let's see what Zach's got to say with Ben.
Man, Zach, that was a close one.
Yeah, it was close. I was not sure which way I was going to go. Yeah, we both had our advantages and disadvantages, but yeah, hey, it's any man's game.
All right, mate, we'll see you at the next one.
So there it is. Second to last battle on the lower half of the tree. And it'll be Matty J up against Sam Rowson at the very bottom.
All right, well, this is the last battle of the, what was it, Link ECU top 16?
Yeah, just the one more time to be decided as well between Braden Mayer and Matthew Brown.
So, of course, we're 1:45 in New Zealand time, 12:45. Around 2 o'clock this afternoon, we'll be heading across to join our friends from Sky Sport. And of course, we're broadcasting through to Fox Sport in Australia and KO. Here is the battle for the last spot in the 8, minus the OMT.
And
Matty
Rowson, yeah, he just washes wide behind Matty J after the initiation there. And now Matty J just needs to keep the flow all the way through the rest of the section. She does nicely. We'll take another look at that, what happened to Rowson at the start of that run. So here it is, Daylight Team replay. Matty J on a good line, gets right down and just, yeah, washes a little bit wide, doesn't. Rowson sort of seemed to do it all by himself.
Yeah, almost looked like he didn't want to commit to the placement of his car versus the lead car, and that slight correction has basically ruined his entire lap and allowed that car to wash forward. Because you'll see, he tries to jump into the pocket at this point here, and then he was closing up relatively quickly. Instead of maybe holding on to it a little bit longer, there's that slight correction, and we saw the car wash off onto the grass, chucking at least a wheel off.
Keeping an eye on that lead run as well. Matty J filling all of those boxes actually really nicely as well, those clipping points.
Things that the judges look at to sort of, just like what I've just discussed there, they'll actually look at heavy decelerations, overuse of handbrakes. Like when you see, there's always the little mark on the rear tyres of a drift car and the front tyres, and that's actually so that we can more easily pick up the drag. You've got the lights across the top, which indicates the foot brake being used.
Love launch Master Willie, don't we? And sends them away, and this time it'll be Sam Rowson leading out. Matty J this time, and Rowson nice and wide through that arc, and Matty J's right there proximity-wise. This layout, I'll say it once and I'll probably say it a million times today, is such a good layout as far as the entertainment goes. With these outer clips, and Rowson now, he's done a good job in the lead here. Is that going to be enough? Now, taking a look back at that, I think it might have only been 2 wheels off for Rowson. I didn't see if he had to reinitiate, if he kept the drift in his chase, but Matty J, I think, may have done enough anyway. As he's right there in the proximity-wise. Keep an eye on that back car as well. Any mistakes from him, he hangs on, and looks really good on the chase at that point as well. So might see this one go the way of the S13 of Matty J. Commits to the first corner there as well. The proximity stays right there, and that sets him up pretty much. Actually, I saw Kenny make a comment a little bit earlier that the first turn essentially is what's going to set up the wins and losses here. And in this instance, both ways it looks to appear that way. Sam Rowson washing off in the first turn, and Matty J, the way he set himself up with the proximity.
Well, it's a... Oh, there's the crowd out there. Look at those hot dogs out there. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. Have a look at the screen if you can see it. I want to see a mana wave. Surely there's one out there.
That's not a mana wave. That's just a wave.
Yeah, come on, chuck us a mana wave. Yeah, the closest on the right-hand side. All right, what are the judges going to say with Andrew Redwood, Joel Counter, and JT Wharedo?
Matty J takes the win. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling pretty good about that one. I was quite happy with my chase there, and but yeah, to do a good chase, like they say, you got to do a good lead. So I think that was pretty good. But yeah, it was tidy up a few little things there, and bring on the next one.
Yeah, nice and tight. Looking real smooth out there.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, felt good.
All right, mate. Thank you.
All right, Sammy, it looked close, but don't get the number. How close did it feel from your perspective?
Oh, I did a little bit of a bobble in my chase, so I sort of knew I was on a disadvantage from that, but strung it together. Did pretty good lead, so that was good. Man,
Improving all the time?
Yeah, man, always. It's good.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So there you go. That means we have a top 8 sorted in Repco D1NZ Pro Sport. Stick around. The weather's fine. We're feeling good. They're racing and battling hard. Let's go with the 8 shortly. Back shortly.
When somebody asks me what does Link Engine Management do, I always say we build computers for race cars. We build sophisticated engine and mobile power management systems for automotive, heavy transport, aviation and marine applications. Our innovation over the last 30 years has created a world-class product. And we're really proud to be one of the first companies in the world to have an off-the-shelf hydrogen engine management solution for the internal combustion process. I think recruitment's easier in the tech space here in Christchurch because there's so many similar companies around who are doing either hardware development or software development. The universities like the University of Canterbury have a really great intern program that we benefit from. One of our exciting collabs at the moment is working with Roden Cars. The great thing about having a relationship and a partnership with Roden is they're challenging us to be at our best. And our engineers get together and honestly, they're like a bunch of passionate kids because they get to talk about motorsport all day, and what's not to like about that?
You know, you can tell how a builder's day's going, Josh, by the way they park their utes.
True.
Hard close, not quite a slam. Paul's having a shocker. Owner's doing a site visit soon. Subby didn't show, so they're a bit behind. You going all right, Paul?
Having a shocker. Owner's doing a site visit soon. Subby didn't show, and we're a bit behind.
How did you even do that? Nobody understands builder like we do, Josh.
The Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship is heading to Tauranga for the grand finale of the 2024 season. 50 of New Zealand's best sideways masters take on New Zealand's House of Drift, the concrete jungle of Bay Park Stadium, in a 2-night electrifying motorsport showcase, which crowns a champion. An atmosphere like no other with high horsepower drifting battles, show cars, monster truck demonstration and more. Thousands of tyres, hundreds of battles, but there can be only one Drift King. Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship Grand Finale, Bay Park Stadium, Friday and Saturday, May 10th and 11th. Get your tickets now at D1NZ.com. Well, with 400 stores, 4,000 staff across Australasia, Repco Auto Parts have certainly been there for many, many years. Of course, the sponsor of the 2024 Repco Supercars Championship, heading to Taupō next weekend. Well, this is how they got there into the top 8. Aidan Daly will be facing Dean Young. Isaac Aldridge will go up against Adam Whitehead.
We've got Keisuke Nagashima up against Braden Mayer and Daniel Edwards up against Matty J in the bottom half of this tree. We're looking for the Allied Petroleum top 4 at the conclusion of these Mimico top 8 battles, and it's brewing up to be a good one, Steve.
Certainly looking forward to seeing who is going to make the Repco final. Shout out to everyone down at Repco branch number 2, which I think is here in Palmy.
Yeah, of course, branch 10 and 89 in Rotorua. And I think, yeah, these Pro Sport drivers just putting on a heck of a show out there. Adam Whitehead looking pretty relaxed down there in pit lane at the moment. And Isaac Aldridge just having a bit of a yarn down there. And yeah, looking very forward to seeing these guys as they just get stronger and stronger as the day goes on in this reverse circuit of Manfeild. Circuit Chris Amon, crowd building ever so slowly as the pros start warming themselves up down there in the pits as well. Hope you keep them warm up there on the bank. Welcome along to the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship.
Well, let's go down and talk to Ben Jenkins. What have you got for us, my friend?
Right, we have some breaking news. The judges in one of the battles just before between Matthew Brown and Sam Braden Mayer has been overturned. We're going up to the judges for an explanation.
All right, well, let's hear the explanation from our judges. We've got Joel Counter.
So we've reviewed the drivers. Sorry. Braden Mayer has put through an inquiry, and we've reviewed the footage and determined that Matt Brown straight-lined. That's something I picked up live and the other two had missed, so we've gone over and had a look at the inquiry and determined that Matt Brown straight lined and zeroed out in the chase position, and that's the result.
So, Joel, you judge on what you see. Of course, if you guys make your decisions on what you see and what you see right now, we obviously have an ability, if the drivers out there disagree with that, the inquiry can be made.
Correct. Yeah, so it's something that, like I say, I had picked up on live and the other two had missed. We discussed it afterwards, but we can't overturn a decision without that inquiry that came through. So we've looked at the inquiry and we've overturned the decision based on that straight line.
All right, thank you very much. It's great to see, great to have you guys there, and great to get all those explanations. Will you get back in and do your thing, Joel? Joel Counter, of course, former pro driver with the D1NZ, and once smoked my bro Cole at Bay Park. That was for Tony. All right, well, who else have we got down there? We're going to go and talk to... Hey, there's a mana wave. Come on, show us one. Look at that little pretty girl and big.
There's a good solid mana wave there.
Oh, they're throwing them. I love it.
Look at that. Maybe a bit of a wind up with the hand before we throw a mana wave.
I drove down all the way and I mana waved absolutely everybody that I could find in Brendan White's broadcast truck. And then I had little Thomas in the other vehicle, and I tried to encourage him to mana wave. He said he did, but I think he was lying.
Tell you what, I had a bit of a diversion between Rotorua over to the Hawke's Bay before I came down over the saddle to come to Manfeild this morning, and between Taupo and Hawke's Bay is a lot of roadworks at the moment, so there was a lot of mana waves going on. And travelling on a Friday, it was quite a busy day as well. I'd say roadworkers around the country are either loving it or hating it, and there's no in between.
Well, I mean, if you look at, I think they'd all be like Launchmaster Willie. They're always happy. Well, this is the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship. It is round number 4, Manfeild Circuit, Chris Amon. And this is our next battle of the day. This is the 8, and this is Aiden Deli in the RHP Reed and Harrison Performance Limitless Tyres S14. He's going up against Dean Young. This is their first run of the battle.
So Aiden Deli leading out in the RHP Performance over the SF tiling of Dean Young, and Aiden's been putting down some solid lead runs all day. Dean Young is one of the most aggressive chasers we've seen all day, and that is a nice clean battle between these two drivers to start off this Mimico top 8.
There was a slight correction coming out of Splash, and it was, a lot of the corrections happen because drivers are wanting to avoid the action. It actually looked like Dean was making the correction so he could get closer to the rear bumper, which you love to see. So we see him flying through at this point here. They'll start heading down, grabbing the outside zone, and at this point here you can see, okay, I'm a certain angle, and he actually gives it the old nudge up to get a bit closer.
I did see that, yeah, just a little tiny correction to wash out a little touch wider. He wasn't quite envisaging Aiden obviously to fill that out of zone as well as he did, and
he's like, I'll come too.
Yeah, as we've heard it before, a good lead run creates a good chase run. And as we move into the latter part of this Pro Sport Championship tree, and it's certainly heating up and the battle's getting closer and closer. So, Aiden having finished 16th yesterday and Dean having finished 25th. Means that Aiden was the lead driver. So Dean Young will lead out second here. Launchmaster Willie has them at the line ready to go, and he gets ready to send them away.
Well, we'll see what Dean Young can do this time. A very, very quick entrance into drift, contact with Aiden Deli. We'll have a look and see later on what caused that, or what Aiden was thinking. I reckon he was thinking, you're going too slow for me.
So it's that trust we spoke about, isn't it, on the initiation point, and Kenny Ruddles nailed it with the fact that turn number 1 is probably going to be where it's won or lost, and Aiden Deli just going for the real aggressive right up on the door of Dean Young. Is that contact going to be enough? We'll take another look here. So there's the start of the section, and yeah.
It just didn't look like you could bring get the car into angle fast enough.
Yeah, it's just the actual initiation wanted to pour more angle on. Dean Young, that's where he pours on the smoke, shallow on that clipping point, but by this stage potentially has done enough to pick up that win. Take another look here. So yeah, Dean, he just grabs it here. It's actually Dean pours on the angle, which he needs to do to be able to tuck down into that inner zone, and Deli just wasn't quite set up with the same angle.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one tonight because there's no inners on this one here as well.
It's not an inner, so it's just a clip.
No, there's only outer zones, outer clips.
Oh, so that box will actually be for the reverse direction.
Yeah, that was potentially from there's an outside box.
That's the importance of turning up to driver's briefing.
Yeah, well, that's why I saw you sitting there and you were soaking it all in. You had your pen and paper out, taking notes. I mean, I was there with my iPad because I've actually embraced technology, but...
So Dean Young on the right, Aidan Deli on the left. Is that contact going to be enough for Dean Young to take the win? We'll find out very shortly. The judges are pretty comfortable, like they've got a decision.
And who is Stephen going to go and talk to?
Sorry about the poor moves, mate, but the smile's still on your face. That was tight.
It was wicked. He was right on my door on entry, felt it, and kept my foot in it, and it was wicked. Awesome driver, awesome lead to our chase. So yeah, stoked, man.
What are you enjoying more, chase or lead on this reverse track?
Honestly, I'm rating the chase. I like it.
Mate, just rate yourself right now. You're through. Well done.
I'm stoked, man. Absolutely stoked.
All right, Benny.
Right, Aidan, what happened there, man?
A little bit too hard on the entry and just tapped him. Seen some fiberglass fly up from my bumper or my guard, and I was like, oh no. Yeah, that was the end of it. But I kept pushing, kept trying to get up there, and yeah, that's just the way it goes. And I came off bottom.
Right, Bay Park, hometown track. Is it your first time competing there?
Yep, first time. Super excited for it. All my family's going to be there, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Right, let's go see how the big bro goes, eh?
Yep, sweet.
Cheers.
Let's see how the big bro goes. Of course, Clayton Deli, out of the 2-car team that you're suggesting might become a 3-car team, and if the rest of the whānau jumps on board as well, it might be a total D1NZ Deli takeover. Well, here is our next battle. It's E92 versus Sylvia. It's LS2 versus 2J. 500-ish horsepower versus the 600 of Adam Whitehead, Isaac Aldridge. Adam Whitehead, Aldridge, the high qualifier from yesterday, the higher place getter from yesterday, and this is for a spot on the 4.
Yeah, and the winner of this battle will take on Dean Young, who's looking solid out there, actually. He says he likes the chase position too. He's been nice and aggressive on it. Isaac Aldridge, though, leads out Adam Whitehead. And nice aggressive initiation this time. And Adam Whitehead, he's tucking himself almost in behind Aldridge. Don't get lost in the smoke back there, Adam.
Comes through and switches as they see these 2 big cars head down, grab that big correction by Whitehead. Looked like he was just not expecting what Aldridge was doing up front and had to make the correction to obviously ensure that contact wasn't made. Maybe. Let's have a look and see what happened.
Yeah, so Whitehead just nice and aggressive on the chase, piles on the angle to match the speed of Aldridge up the front. As Aldridge puts the hammer down, and just a correction in the middle here. Yeah, there it is. He had to shallow up to keep the proximity. Didn't realise the speed that Aldridge was carrying through that centre part. And to the final clip and across the line they went.
Isaac will be loving it out there. Certainly one of the characters that we have in the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. Drift direct on the door of that E92 BMW. Certainly still looks like he was fighting the wheel somewhat up front in that lead position. There's so much camber coming into that first turn that it's so hard to sort of give it credit for when you see it on the TV cameras. As George takes a shortcut through, what's that, Marshall Box 6, I think.
So Adam Whitehead's turn to lead out Isaac Aldridge in the second half of this battle for a spot in the top 4. Good angle from Whitehead into the start of the section as well. Isaac Aldridge, though, right there matching him and falling a couple of car lengths back at this stage.
Yeah, well, that certainly came from just how fast Adam Whitehead was as he entered. I think he knew what he was up to, because you could see him just basically get given the A-OK, you're good to go, and he gassed it off the line.
So Adam had to put the pressure on Aldridge, maybe knew with that correction, he probably felt it in his car.
So there's a Out of zone at that point there with the two clips. You see the one there for the outside clip. Out of zone again. This is out of zone number 2. And then they make their way, no winner, back to another outer clip. And that's where they finish. So,
and love nothing but outer clips for the whole section as well. Just for the proximity or the lead that it opens up for the chase driver to put on a good looking battle. And we've seen a couple of those already, and they're going to get better as the day goes on. So we'll see what sort of call's going to go the way here. Tough to split them. Can you put, you know, is the correction from Whitehead enough? Was the lack of proximity from Aldridge enough? Will we see it one more time?
You know what? That's the bonus of being a D1NZ judge. We'll lay it on the team upstairs. They can do the choosing. As we see one of our pro drivers, Dave Stedman. So that might have been a mechanical lap. They're certainly been trying to slot them in. That, or he just wants to get some signage out there for the team from Mimico. Well, which way is it going to go? The judges certainly getting ready to push a few buttons. It's either Isaac Aldridge, the E92 on the left, or it will be the Plan B hydraulics, that beautiful S14 of Adam Whitehead on the right-hand side. No MT. One more time.
So the first one more time of the top 8.
Well, let's have a look at the battle tree. So we came through the Link ECU top 16, the Mimico top 8. We've got one person already in the Allied Petroleum top 4. And of course, that will be the person who's going to go up against the OMT between Isaac Aldridge and Adam Whitehead, the bottom half.
Still looking at Keisuke Nagashima to come up against Braden Mayer in that overturned decision between himself and Matthew Brown earlier on in that Link ECU top 16. And we've got Daniel Edwards up against Matty J. And some good drivers that are showing some good form out there on this reverse circuit, and plenty of feedback on them loving it as well.
It's great to see that they're enjoying it. So, and who wouldn't enjoy drifting?
Absolutely.
Well, this is round number 4. Round 3 was yesterday of the Repco D1NZ. Hokie says you can stop. I'll tell you we can scrub. So Hokie has been part of the team as often as possible over the last few years. You'll certainly see her around so many different motorsport events here and all over the Mutu, all over Aotearoa. I met her first in the New Zealand Jet Sprint Champs many years ago. And as a Māori boy, I then found out that she's one of my cousins.
Oh, that was the next question I had. I'm sure you told me that actually she's your cousin.
Yeah, so she's we're from the same, basically the same marae.
Look at that. So, simultaneous scrubbing going out there, and we're going to look set to send them very shortly. Keisuke Nagashima in that 455 horsepower SR20 A86, beautifully presented race car as well. That 86 Fighters machine, and we've got Braden Mayer in his 700 horsepower RB30 powered S14 with the S15 front on it. And Keisuke Nagashima pause on the pace as he throws it into the first corner. Braden Mayer had a bit of catching up to do, but he's done well to get right up there in close-ish proximity.
It's a light car, it's a fast car, and Keisuke certainly showing his pace on track in the 86 Fighters car. Just coming through, running the ripples to finish. Now a sizable gap between himself and Braden.
Yeah, he took off from the line, and Braden Mayer he found himself wheel spinning his way towards the initiation of turn number 1. You can see the smoke already pouring off Braden Mayer's car. So Keisuke, after being sent by Lawson Master Willie, sends it into the first corner, and there's the gap that opens up between the two. Keisuke showing what sort of lead run the championship points leader at the moment.
So Keske comes through to finish. He's done all right. And was that a straight line? Was that before or after the end of the section?
Very close. A wheel on the ripple strip, maybe for Mir as well. Gee, it looks like a tyre off just before the ripple strip too, so maybe minor deduction for Mir. But yeah, Keske, like I say, the current points leader in the Pro Sport Championship, showing why he's doing so into the potentially slight advantage in the top 8.
Well, here is the second half of the battle now. Braden Mayer, possibly some work to do. Comes through, that's an outside clip. Brings the nose down of the car. He's running a few adjustments in the steering to get himself down there. You can see how much work he's having to do to keep that car around the turn. He might have been working hard, but the car just looks smooth out there. And that's what you have to do at times to actually keep that look.
So we'll take another look at it here. Keske hard on the gas, trying to put a good chase run in here. Braden Mayer doing a good job up front as well, nice and smooth. Filling those outer zones and carrying good pace through there. So it was a very good lead run as well. So I'm sure it'll be chase run versus chase run as far as the comparison goes.
And joining us on the chat is Adam Mulder, DKM Fabrication. Hello, Keg. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I'd say you and your little girl watching the drifting, but I'm sure Claire's not.
So these two will make their way back to pit lane. We'll see if we can find a winner from the judges.
Going rowing. He looks like an Eva Swindell twin. And there we go. Which way is it going to go? Which way is Stephen McIver going to head? Keisuke Nagashima.
We were just trying to figure out how old this car is, because it looks like a brand new car. What's she about 40 years old, this car now?
Yeah, I'd say about 40 years old. She's older than I am, so older than most people watching, to be honest. But no, she does well for an old girl.
I get the feeling this track suits your Toyota.
Yeah, I think so. Like, realistically, this car's been set up really well between myself and Torque Performance and everyone that's come on board for this year. So, like, yeah, no, we're just having a lot of fun and doing all right.
So you've jumped into the four beautifully, potentially up against the guy that you're in front, but now sitting behind, but you're in front of in the championship. Yep. Could be a cracking four battle.
Well, I was looking at the top 8 thinking, this is a really good top 8, so I'm glad I got through. I'm looking forward to going on with these guys and having a good time.
We're looking forward to it, Keisuke. Thanks, mate. Benny?
Braden Mayer, epic driving over the weekend. Pair of top 8 finishes. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling real good. Keisuke's a real good driver, and yeah, I'm glad that I could hang in there, kind of hang in there, yep.
Few car repairs needed before Bay Park?
Oh, definitely. Pretty much whole rebuild, mate, but yeah. No, I'm real stoked. Two top 8s in a row, yeah, I'm real happy.
Good on you, man. See you soon.
Well, kicks her into life, grabs the gear, load it up, get ready for Bay Park.
That's the one. Make sure you get tickets because they will sell out.
If you want to grab yourself tickets to the grand finale at Mercury Bay Park Stadium in Mount Maunganui, head to our website at D1NZ.com. 50 of New Zealand's top drifters will obviously take on the concrete jungle in epic drifting battles. So, of course, the grand finale, the 10th and the 11th of May. And the tickets are on sale now at D1NZ.com. There are some amazing VIP packages as well.
Got your tickets?
I'm not sure yet, so hopefully.
Looking at the very bottom of the battle tree now.
I think I might go.
Final of the top 8. We've still got one more time to come, but at the bottom of the tree we have Matty J up against the second place championship points holder at the moment, Daniel Edwards. And Matty J will lead them out.
Matty J finished in 6th place yesterday, so he put himself straight into the top 16. Daniel Edwards didn't have it all his way, finishing in 14th position, but he's got himself into the 8 at the moment. Matty J, the Psycho JZ. Look at him go out there.
Yeah, good tight battle here at the moment. A little bit of proximity. Daniel Edwards is trying to get right up in on the door. Good lead run as well from Matty J to make that possible. That is one of the tightest battles we've seen to date so far, and it's certainly a sign of times to come. This track, I'm getting really excited about this.
Yeah, and I think the thing that you and I are both excited about is the pros are coming out in about 3/4 of an hour's time as we head to the Dale ITM replay and we look at the Moorbach S13 of Matty J. Just throwing that little thing around the Manfeild track, and that was a beautiful dive by Daniel Edwards. By doing so, though, he lost a little bit of speed at the end coming out of splash, but
he just gave Matty enough room for the switch, and he just had to make the dive to hold that proximity. So, yeah, my expertise on judging, I don't know how that gets judged. We'll see it here in a second. Matty piles on the angle here, gives him just enough room to switch, and then just piles on the power to get right back up on the door. So to me, that looks perfectly fine. You know, it's just holding the proximity as much as he can. Evidently, it makes you shallower though, doesn't it? So,
well, there's been a few things that I've seen of recent in the wonderful world of drifting. The other day we saw a beautiful Mustang that decided that it wanted to get rather hot under the bonnet, and then we've seen recently what's been happening over in Ireland with the we've seen what's been happening over in Ireland with the drift team. Lots and lots of fire, and yeah, certainly feeling for the Irish drift community. But there's one person that did very well after getting very hot under the collar, was James Dean. I just hear he might have just taken out Long Beach.
Yeah, congratulations, James Dean. Daniel Edwards now leads out Matty J. We've lost him a little bit in the smoke. He's trying to catch back up. He is playing catch up. There's Matty J here. Good lead run from Daniel Edwards, getting laid down. Fills that final outer clip really nicely. So, be interesting to see what happened. Matty J must have just pulled on too much angle. Yeah.
So I guess we look at what happens here. So they'll see the two drivers come through. Matty's gone for a really low line. And how... All right, well, here's something to consider. Has Daniel Edwards, who should have been a lot further up and higher up the track, has he been the cause for Matty J to actually drop back? Because Matty was on a beautiful arc at very, very similar speed. But this car here, the black car here, that brings her nose down and basically grabs that inside. Well, no, he still filled that. I think that was a bit tough for me to say the first time. His entire crew will be, shut up, Steve, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, obviously I didn't in that position there.
Yeah, it's almost like Matty J just didn't match the speed of Edwards. And reverting back to it, that turn number 1, the maker or breaker for this whole section. She was catch up from there on in for Matty J. Matty J on the left, Daniel Edwards on the right, looking for a decision from the judges. Which way will it go? Now, is that a place kick in rugby, or is that like a penalty shot for a goal?
I thought
Soccer, football.
I thought he was opening up a coconut. And it's going to be Daniel Edwards who takes the win.
Radio, Daniel Edwards with the win, mate. What a chase run.
No, that was awesome. I was pumping on that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Right now, into the top 4, Keisuke Nagashima, championship points on the line. It's going to be a tough battle.
It's going to be a hard one, but our goal is to pass him on that points. It's going to be tough.
All right, mate, go and get set.
Thanks, Matty. Initiation. It's tough here, hey?
Yeah, no, it is tough. Like I said yesterday, he's a good driver. I'm glad he actually got me one back, you know, keep him up there in the points and all that. But yeah, I've had an absolute blast of a weekend. But yeah, just in that one on my chase, I just gave it a little bit too much left foot brake, and like a lot too much, and it just really slowed me down. And I seen him gapping it, and I was, oh shit, I'm on catch up now. And yeah, but yeah, no, congratulations to him and the team. I just want to thank everyone that's helped me get here, and all my sponsors, people that support me, my beautiful, amazing wife Amanda, and yeah, thank everyone.
Good work, mate. Thanks for the entertainment.
Thanks D1NZ.
Well, I guess Bay Park for Matty J is also considered home, isn't it?
Well, yeah, nice and close. He does love going to the concrete jungle.
Drone master George Moody, I love it.
We was on the lead up. You were talking something, Stephen. I just watched George fly on through one of those huts again.
He's been doing it all day long. All right, well, let's go and see what's going to happen here. This is the battle between Isaac Aldridge and Adam Whitehead.
So Isaac Aldridge leads out Whitehead. BMW versus S14 here. Nissan Silvia. And Aldridge piles on the smoke. They're out, start screaming. The 1.5 JZ right there, though. Oh, a little bit of a correction in the chase there from Whitehead. And closes the proximity right up, almost on the door. Another little correction in the chase. A good lead run from Aldridge.
And of course, don't forget, a correction can also be an adjustment. An adjustment can be used to gain back proximity, etc. So that's a smooth run so far by Isaac Aldridge. He's really having a great weekend.
It's actually a word I need to put into my vocabulary there from a chase driver's perspective. Is adjustment, not correction. Adjusting himself to get that proximity.
Just love how they're just backing this thing in. It's such a short lead up, and that looks flat, but I can tell you the distance between the inner radius or the inside apex of that turn and the top of the outside of the track is probably about, I don't know, 1.2 meters. It's definitely fast.
So this is the one more time, and the top 8 looking for the final four of this D1NZ Pro Sport Championship. We have Keisuke Nagashima up against Daniel Edwards in the lower half of the tree. The winner of this battle will go up against Dean Young, and Dean has been looking on form all day as well, so they'll have their work cut out for them. And this time Adam Whitehead's going to lead it out. Isaac Aldridge throws it in there nice and wide. And a good arc to fill out that second outer zone. Isaac Aldridge is right there as well. Pours the smoke on, does Whitehead. Look at the aggressive lead that he's got here. He's actually put a little bit of a gap on Aldridge as well. So Adam Whitehead, he's out there loving it. That is a great lead run. Aldridge, proximity not as good as Whitehead's was through the first half of the battle. Let's see what the judges will think on this one. We'll take a look at the Deli team replay.
So you watch Whitehead. He's in lead position. Quite aggressive to snap down into that transitional point before making his way back out the outer zone. Heading through splash, adjustment to the front steering, and a relatively smooth arc by Aldridge. Now that wheel off at the very end was after the section, so the judges will not judge that section.
You can just see the amount of drive that Whitehead had off turn 1 to gain those couple of car lengths away from Aldridge, and the grip level of the Plan B S14 just seems a little bit higher than that of the Aldridge BMW. And is that enough after Whitehead's proximity?
Well, they'll head on down to Steve McIver and Ben Jenkins. Great team in the lane. It was wonderful yesterday to have the experience of Ben Jenkins. The information flow was certainly on point. So the judges have got their own judges replay system that we have. They, as I've mentioned many times before, can... All right, we've got a decision. Which way will it be? We've seen the lights come on. All right, Stephen McIver, our winner, Adam Whitehead. share the mana wave.
That was my mana with a sort of a ballerina twist to it. Yeah, okay, be quiet. Hey, you looked nervous when you pulled up there.
Yeah, well, one more time's always nervous whether you've done right again, but it's been a day for BMWs, so had to throw everything I had at that one, so yeah, that was good.
You're through. This is not a loser. This is the winner's interview. Remember?
Yeah, it was just a lot of pressure. The nerves are going through the top 4, and we'll try and one more.
Well done, mate.
Cheers. Thank you,
Benny.
Right, Isaac, what happened there, mate?
Just coming out of the first turn in the chase, I both got on the gas, and he just walked away from me a little bit, and I think that was probably all she wrote. I could feel him right on me when he was chasing me the whole time, and yeah, I just couldn't hang with him. So yeah.
Top 8 finish though, got to be happy with that?
Yeah, 100% coming into the weekend, and you know, getting a top 4 and then another top 8 the next day, no complaints whatsoever. And obviously Adam, one of the top drivers in the class, to get the OMT and then, you know, push as hard as we did, no complaints whatsoever.
All right, mate, we'll see you at the next round.
Cheers, thank you.
So there it is, your top 4 is set. It's going to be Dean Young up against Adam Whitehead. And in the lower half, we're going to see the points leader, Keisuke Nagashima, up against Daniel Edwards, who's currently sitting on second. We'll see how they got there. So Dean Young started off in the top 16 up against Daniel Cordwell. He then got a win over Deli through to the Allo Petroleum top 4, where he'll take on Adam Whitehead. Adam Whitehead, he said it was a day for BMWs. It took out Jason Wu and the silver BMW, and went through to take out Isaac Aldridge just then. Keisuke Nagashima, his way through, he took the win over Daniel Crinkle and then over Braden Mayer to make his way through to that top 4. And Daniel Edwards, after taking out Zach Zaden in the top 16, and Matty J in the top 8, is now through to the top 4. That's how they will line up for the top 4. Thanks to Allo Petroleum. We're going to be looking for our top 2 in the Repco final. It is the Repco National Drifting Championship. It's a somewhat coldish day here at Manfeild.
Alrighty, so we're here in pit lane, and it's we're going to get what's going to happen right now is we're going to take a wee break, but because we got to get the sight laps done for the pros, but we got to really, you'd say it's a tasty top 4, Ben, when you look at it. Let's just look at the first one of the battles. Dean Young, Adam Whitehead. Adam Whitehead yesterday said he's going up to the pros. That one of his run before that OMT was a pro run. I was really impressed with that.
That's for sure. We've seen a lot of great chase runs out of Adam Whitehead, and in turn a lot of great chase runs out of Dean Young. Yeah. So I'm very excited to see this battle come up.
Yeah, when you're looking at the chase runs and the lead runs, where do you think the battles are actually being won now? Do you see any consistency? Are the chasers getting the options, or is it the leader runners getting the options?
Like we said this morning, we are seeing that first outer zone is really the decider for some of these battles. And they really need to get in the pocket on the 2 switches and to get to that last outer zone and be right on the door as they go across, as we've seen Dean Young do a lot, and also Adam Whitehead.
The big top 4 battle, and it is a big top 4 battle, is Keisuke Nagashima against Daniel Edwards, and both are on.
I think there's 8 points separating them in the championship right now, with Keisuke leading the championship. It's going to be an amazing battle, and this one could be a championship decider.
Well, Keisuke yesterday looked really strong in the wet. He looks even stronger in the dry, and we've had little chats about this. That car, that tiny wee 86, that 40-year-old 86, it looks suited to this track.
He's got it set up so well, like an arrow. You see, he gets through the section so much faster than these other drivers, but he just needs to make sure he can chase.
Talk to me about one thing that I'm just getting my head around too, and it's obviously quite a simple one for you guys, but getting in the pocket when you know someone's on a good chase, when they're basically right on someone's back door, aren't they?
To be able to do that as well, you need to have an amazing lead line. So when you get an amazing lead line, the chase car can sit just there in the pocket, right on that door, whether the driver or passenger side.
One thing I've noticed this weekend particularly, this is round 4, remember? Double round 3 yesterday, round 4, is how much better the pro sport drivers are becoming. They're starting to sort of, we're not just the second tier, we can actually, we can step up.
They've got the machinery now. Most of these pro sport cars can jump straight into a pro competition.
All right, let's take a wee break. This is Repco D1NZ Pro Sport.
Somebody asked me, what does Link Engine Management do? I always say, we build computers for race cars. We build sophisticated engine and mobile power management systems for automotive, heavy transport, aviation and marine applications. Our innovation over the last 30 years has created a world-class product, And we're really proud to be one of the first companies in the world to have an off-the-shelf hydrogen engine management solution for the internal combustion process. I think recruitment's easier in the tech space here in Christchurch because there's so many similar companies around who are doing either hardware development or software development. The universities like the University of Canterbury have a really great intern program that we benefit from. One of our exciting collabs at the moment is working with Roden Cars. The great thing about having a relationship and a partnership with Roden is they're challenging us to be at our best. And our engineers get together and honestly, they're like a bunch of passionate kids because they get to talk about motorsport all day, and what's not to like about that?
You know, you can tell how a builder's day's going, Josh, by the way they park their utes.
True.
Hard closed, not quite a slam. Paul's having a shocker. Owner's doing a site visit soon. Subby didn't show, so they're a bit behind. You going all right, Paul?
Having a shocker. Owner's doing a site visit soon. Subby didn't show, and we're a bit behind.
How did you even do that?
Nobody understands builder like we do, Josh.
The Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship is heading to Tauranga for the grand finale of the 2024 season. 50 of New Zealand's best sideways masters take on New Zealand's House of Drift, the concrete jungle of Bay Park Stadium, in a two-night electrifying motorsport showcase, which crowns a champion. An atmosphere like no other with high horsepower drifting battles, show cars, monster truck demonstration and more. Thousands of tyres, hundreds of battles, but there can be only one Drift King. Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship Grand Finale, Bay Park Stadium, Friday and Saturday, May 10th and 11th. Get your tickets now at D1NZ.com.
Repco Auto Parts, bringing you coverage of the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship, not just the D1NZ, but the Super Sprint Motorsport New Zealand Championship as well, with 400 stalls across Australasia and 4,000 staff, and also the home of the 2024 Repco Supercars Championship. Repco has been part of New Zealand motorsport for over 100 years, and they've been on the name on the side of the D1NZ. The celebrations are plenty and celebrating a great brand. Well, this is round four of the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship here at Manfeild Circuit Chris Amon in the mighty Manawa 2. I'm Steve Daniel, part of the commentary team, joined with me, Tony Gallagher. Well, we're almost ready for pro, but there's a couple of battles along the way. Current high of 17 degrees, the high of 17. Wind speed is low, and that is definitely causing some problems for our judges and their visibility today.
Yeah, and as we get down to the nitty-gritty of this Pro Sport Championship, top four that we've got left over, the battles and the smoke is just getting higher and higher, and of course the big boys coming out soon as well. The pros just going to really pour it on even more so as you start hearing the rumble of a few of those cars. Get ready to line up. But first, we do have Dean Young against Adam Whitehead, and of course Keisuke Nagashima, the 1-2 battle between himself and Daniel Edwards. And these Pro Sport drivers, yeah, I'm just really getting the feeling they do love this reverse section.
And that is the section there that we can see, filled with the midgies flying around. It's certainly one of the problems we have at some of the racetracks around New Zealand. So, Dean Young driving out on track. Adam Whitehead in behind. This is the Pro Sport Top 24. This is the final four. And on the left-hand side of the tree, we'll see Dean Young facing Adam Whitehead. On the right-hand side is Keisuke Nagashima taking on Daniel Edwards. Daniel Edwards, your Horizon tyres, 2JZ-powered Nissan 180SX versus that A86 from the early 80s.
So interestingly enough, we'll go to the bottom half of the tree as far as the battles go. Keisuke Nagashima and Daniel Edwards going first. I'm wondering if that's just a touch extra time. Obviously Adam Whitehead in that one more time battle.
Well, this is to find the first spot on the final today, as we'll see the cars line up side by side. Nagashima qualifying in second today after finishing Well, in the finals yesterday, it's certainly been the season of dreams for Keisuke. Just looking at the championship points right now, Keisuke Nagashima sitting on 294 points, Daniel Edwards on 272 with Adam Whitehead on 260. What a jump by Daniel Smith to get onto 207 points. But between these two drivers here with Adam Whitehead as well, one of them will become the 2024 Pro Sport Champion for the D1NZ. Let's see how they go as we find our spot in the final.
So Keisuke Nagashima initiates into the section. Daniel Edwards right there, as he's been doing all day long to all his other competitors he's gone up against. And Keisuke pouring on the smoke now in that 86. Here comes Daniel Edwards shallowing up the gap to come through to complete the section.
Possible wheel off by Daniel Edwards.
Yeah, and it was very close for Keisuke up the front too. It was a minimum the ripple strip.
That switchback at the end certainly wasn't helping either. Let's have a look at the replay. So Nagashima fires it through into the hairpin here at Manfeild Circuit Chris Amon. Runs a low line, works his way back up. Now, it looked like he was a little bit... I was going to say it's a bit off his clip, but he actually dragged a bit further, and that took Daniel Edwards there as well. About half a metre off that outer zone before coming through to finish, and at that point there, I couldn't see Keisuke because he was in a cloud of smoke, but Edwards looked like he may have dropped the wheel.
Yeah, we'll have another look at that again as well. See if we can see how much Keisuke, you can just see on the right rear, he does just get there to the line. And you see Edwards here shallows up through this part of the section to close that proximity up. Does a good job there carrying the pace, but does wash a little bit wide. That's where that one wheel does shoot off the side of the track for Edwards. So minor deductions for wheels off, nothing too major at this point. But Keisuke, great lead run up front.
Well, it's a return battle, and it will be Daniel Edwards' turn to set the pace. Makes his way around the cones, he starts grabbing a few gears, and as we say, it's short before they head into the first turn.
So Edwards, big smoke show up front, but Keisuke Nagashima, look, he's right there in that 86. And he is putting the pressure on Daniel Edwards. Remember, this is 1 and 2 in the championship, and this is the fight for the lead of the championship as they go into Bay Park's final round. What a battle. Of course, those points that you mentioned before, Steve, as well, they're live points as they go, aren't they? So they're updated with today's points to this point.
Absolutely. Coleman is up in Auckland, making sure that all those points get entered in correctly. As we see the replay, judges keeping a close eye on things.
And it's going to be nice and hard to split them here. You can see JT there taking a good hard look into the replay screen. Some good deliberation to go on here. The hardest job, isn't it? You know, I speak about some speedway yesterday that the officials I had to deal with in some situations, you know, they had the toughest job. And I reference back to judging and drifting too. It's not the easiest thing at all, in the utmost respect. These guys, I mean, they put themselves out there too, don't they, for a lot of, you know, praise but slack as well. It certainly goes both ways. So, Keisuke.
Which way will it be, Keisuke? Will it be Daniel Edwards? We're about to find out. Stephen McIver, who are you going to choose?
Inch tires, look what you're doing.
I am hyped. That was a killer run by Daniel, and yeah, no, I was on him. I knew I had to push my best to, you know, be on him, and yeah, no, I'm glad I got the win. He's a phenomenal driver, so stoked, absolutely stoked.
Well, mate, you're into the final, live on Sky just after 2. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
Well, Keisuke said he loves racing against you, mate, and he knew that he had to bring his best.
Yeah, mate, he's tough. I let him get away a bit on me on the initiation, and I was playing catch up the whole time, but that thing's gripped up.
Can I ask a question? The way you're driving, we've seen this weekend. When does the decision come to maybe go up the big boys?
Oh, I don't want to move up too early, mate. Once I get a first place in the season, that's me. Yeah.
Well, you're close, mate. This one will hurt a little bit because it's so tight, but we'll see you soon.
Cheers, mate.
So there is Daniel Edwards. Just to see how with Adam Whitehead breathing down his neck as far as championship points goes. And Keisuke Nagashima will well and truly hang on to his points lead going into Bay Park, and Nothing more exciting than seeing the 86 as well, as beautifully presented as it is, thrown up against the concrete.
Oh, I don't want any of those cars near that concrete. Well, close, but
yeah,
not in.
Not in.
So currently, Keisuke Nagashima is sitting on 294 points with Daniel Edwards on 272. And of course, as the next battle's bracket finishes, that will be updated. This is again for a place in the finals. It is Dean Young in the chase position. It is the Plan B Hydraulics Nissan S14 of Adam Whitehead, who leads out. We've seen him so aggressive on that switch. He starts dragging that car. The rear comes through and fills it. But here comes Dean Young really trying to close the door.
Wow, what a battle it is in the top four here. Dean Young, Adam Whitehead putting on a show, most definitely. We'll take a look at the Dale ITM replay, and good start there. Look at Dean Young right there, trusting Adam Whitehead's initiation, and Adam Whitehead, slight correction there, throws it aggressively through into the second part as well. Dean Young washes a little bit wide there, and what they did is actually shallowed him up. They then kept the proximity.
Yeah, I think it was all about, he literally switched so that he could switch back on him. So he also probably would have been told Whitehead was quick in his lead run last time, and don't let him jump you.
And that's a great point you bring up, Steve, is because Adam has been very fast in all his lead runs all day, and that's where he's almost gained some of the advantage or got back it. So Dean Young's had to keep up as much pace as possible, and by doing so, he's kept the proximity there, and it's probably one of the best chases we've seen against Adam Whitehead all day.
Well, they'll go down to the hands of Launch Master Willie. There was a single comment made by Kenny Ruddle about 4 or 5 years ago down in Teretonga when we were in the South Island, and the name stuck. It seemed to work pretty well for us, and Launch Master Willie began.
So Dean Young's turn to lead out Adam Whitehead. So Adam Whitehead's been chasing all day as well. These drivers, both drivers, deserve the spot here, and it's going to be tough to pick them apart. Look at the smoke show, and there's Adam Whitehead right on the back panel of Dean Young, and Adam Whitehead, he's thrown it away in the middle part. He's put some wheels off and had to pull out of the drift.
Okay, well, things to look at for us is the implications that can have on a championship. Whitehead sitting in third place. He wants to go up and battle and beat the two guys up front, and that's not a way to do it.
So Adam, he was just nice and aggressive on the chase. He just found himself a little bit too shallow. So he's trying to do almost exactly what Dean Young did to Adam in the first pass. And Adam tried to return the serve, and unfortunately just too shallow, and found himself with his front wheels off that inner ripple strip. The skills of George never seems to amaze me.
That was one of the hardest things when George came on board. I said, no more camera flips, you've just got to do this, that and the other. He's like, but that's boring, I can do so much better. And yeah, very artistic is our George Moody from Inspire You, as we see two, if not all the wheels going off for poor old Adam Whitehead. But he's got something to look forward to. Bay Park. Well, we'll see. The judges may have seen something we didn't. Which way is it going to go?
Dean Young takes the win into the final, mate. How does it feel?
Oh, absolutely stoked, man. Yeah.
Keisuke Nagashima up next in the final. It's going to be a showdown.
He's a super, super good driver. Keisuke's one of the pros, so yeah. Oh, bring it on.
All right, mate.
Boys are on.
Well done.
Yeah, well, Adam, mate, it's all those little moments, right? They can let you down or build you up.
Yeah, oh, Dean's a good driver. I knew I had to throw something down, but I just got caught up in the smoke, couldn't see a single thing, and just tried to judge where the next corner was, and then popped out of the smoke and just seen the infield, so I just pulled out of it.
We'll see you in the battle for 3 and 4 on Sky after 2 o'clock, mate, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a wee break now here on our live stream. We are done. We're going to come back on Sky Sport, Fox Sport, Motorsport.tv, KO, all around the world in Australia and New Zealand for the continuation of round 4 of Repco D1NZ. Pro Sport Finals, and then the big boys come on to play in D1NZ Pro. Stay with us. See you soon.
When somebody asks me what does Link Engine Management do, I always say we build computers for race cars. We build sophisticated engine and mobile power management systems for automotive, heavy transport, aviation and marine applications. Our innovation over the last 30 years has created a world-class product, And we're really proud to be one of the first companies in the world to have an off-the-shelf hydrogen engine management solution for the internal combustion process. I think recruitment's easier in the tech space here in Christchurch because there's so many similar companies around who are doing either hardware development or software development. The universities like the University of Canterbury have a really great intern program that we benefit from. One of our exciting collabs at the moment is working with Roden Cars. The great thing about having a relationship and a partnership with Roden is they're challenging us to be at our best. And our engineers get together and honestly, they're like a bunch of passionate kids because they get to talk about motorsport all day, and what's not to like about that?
You know, you can tell how a builder's day's going, Josh, by the way they park their ute.
True.
Hard closed, not quite a slam. Paul's having a shocker. Owner's doing a site visit soon. Subby didn't show, so they're a bit behind. You going all right, Paul?
Having a shocker. Owner's doing a site visit soon. Subby didn't show, and we're a bit behind. How did you even do that?
Nobody understands builder like we do, Josh.
ITM.